Da, 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 da. Good morning, Leanne. Good morning, Ben. Good morning to you, and especially to you. And how are you this morning?
I am staggeringly astonishing.
It's amazing. You had to look up those words to use them. I mean, you've got one of the quickest language brains I know, and she's like sitting there with ChatGPT. You'll be totally AI within 3 years.
No, but explain why.
Well, you must now ask me, Miss, and how are you?
And how are you?
Amazing, and how are you?
Astonishing.
Tremendous.
Astounding.
Fantastic.
Surprising.
Do you need your phone for these
Marvelous.
weak-ass adjectives? Yeah.
So this is the comedy of errors, right? Gareth asks me if I know how many synonyms I know for amazing was the word, right?
Yes, well, good.
So I said, can I cheat? Because I'm feeling rather tired after a long week of thinking of words. So I Google amazing syllables, and it has 3. Amazing. So that's why I'm kind of at a loss. I didn't know
how depressing.
Google's a humbler.
All right, so how is everybody and what's news?
Well, Gareth, I'm mostly salubrious, thank you.
Oh,
That's
wow.
a good word.
Yeah.
Salubrious.
No phone.
Okay, Ben wins.
Yeah, he does.
Salubrious is a terrific word.
Yeah, I just need a bit more sleep, but otherwise, salubrious. Yeah.
Well, you know, I listened to the sleep thing the other day, and the person on the sleep podcast I was listening to, they got me to go to the site where they work out what your sleep chronograph is, or whatever.
So you haven't had a proper sleep test.
No, where they hook you up to like an ECG.
No, you need one of those if you've got sleep apnea or you're about to die.
No, you've
if
got
you're just
that.
not getting enough sleep, you don't need a test for that.
No. So there are only 4 kinds of sleepers, according to this guy. He's like the world expert on sleep. I wish I knew his name, but anyway, he's on that Diary of a CEO podcast, right?
Well, then he must be the best.
Well, he's very good.
Isn't Dr. Snore on the snooze fest?
No,
there's this particular guy, our doctor friend, Dr. Whit, will call it the soft medicine or soft sciences.
Yeah.
But there's a particular guy with blonde floppy hair with a nice sort of soothing voice. And he is like the ultimate
Sleep guy.
And he's on all these podcasts. It might be him.
So you've got 4 different kinds of sleep types that you get, right? There's the night owl, which he calls a wolf. Those are people who tend to wake up later, but they go to sleep later.
And they're most keeping as a night owl.
They're most. I know, that's what I thought. Why do you need to change it to a wolf?
To go full Twilight?
Anyway, I suppose it's his copyright on all of this. So I got to give him credit. Anyway, so there's the night owl. Then there's the lion, and
So not the lion that sleeps tonight.
no, well, it does sleep at night,
Oh, this is
That's
true.
probably why it's the lion, yeah.
but it wakes up early, right? So they leave out that verse about in the morning, the lovely morning, the lion's awake before everyone else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe a
Then
good
you
line.
get the bear. The bear is like in the
big
middle
gay
of
The whole of winter.
the gay bear. Yeah, wakes up to go to gay parties. No, the bear is like a balance between the two. I think a lot of people would want to be bears because they're the kind of people who can wake up really early and naturally do, but they also have this amazing ability to just like go dormant.
Have a
whenever they
lay-in.
want to. And then you get a dolphin, which
Do they
is
sleep?
I don't know. It's like dolphin's a fuck up because you don't really have a set pattern, and you tend to be most productive at like 11 in the morning, and then late at night. It's just so guess which one I am.
Dolphin.
Yeah. Whatever what do they do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you were saying, I was thinking like I'm a dolphin bear, and that's not good.
No. And dolphins are just the most terrible animals to be compared to because they are rapey and, I mean, they're like Epstein. That's what dolphins are like
They
Epstein.
have sex for pleasure, don't they?
Yeah.
They
do hang around
they're
islands.
horrible. They're nasty things. I mean,
they're
everybody
actually-
goes, they're so
actually
sweet.
quite compassionate. Like they're really smart. Look, it's not so much that they're rapey; it's that they're very competitive, and they like sex.
Look, they're
Wait,
not.
that does sound rapey.
Yeah, it
Competitive
does sound
sex
rapey.
lover.
And then, you know, they're
Get out the
obviously,
way, I'm going for the sex.
obviously they're much nicer than orcas, which are just
Those are horrid.
total assholes.
Absolute bullies.
Yeah.
Horrible things. Anyway, we've got so much to get into. I don't want to get stuck in the sleep thing. Did you guys, could anyone in the audience give a shit about the State of the Nation address yesterday? Apparently that was happening. Cost us 6 or 7 million rand.
There's a turmoil traffic-wise.
Oh, God. And apparently the flights to and from Cape Town today are like a return will cost you 12,000 rand because of the sonar. It's ludicrous, right? Absolutely mad. That people go there to watch people you would never go and watch if they weren't politicians. Like you wouldn't want to look at them in a bar if you were only 3 people in the bar and they were 2 of them. You wouldn't look at them. But they'll get dressed up in their hideous outfits, it has to be said. And this is their day to look like something. And I've never understood the State of the Nation address.
It's a political fashion show.
We're not a monarchy in South Africa. We don't have the king or queen opening the state opening of parliament. There's no reason. I mean, the president could just as well do a podcast.
It's a newsletter.
Yeah.
You get one of those like Cyril with his hands together, glasses on his nose, pictures, and then just put 2,000 words of bullshit down. It's the same thing.
I mean, I tried one year to make it fun by making it a drinking game when Jacob Zuma was president.
Well, that was the golden era of it.
And I saw that my friends over at the Truth Report, which I'm a founder of, apparently, they did that. I don't know how well it went because they were all obviously pissed. And I didn't find out how it resulted for them, but I hope it went well. Listen, if you did watch it, headlines are there's a water crisis in so many municipalities. Joburg is a total disaster.
Yeah.
When it comes to water at the moment, there's some people in places, some suburbs Melville,
worst hit.
4 weeks it hasn't had water.
Yeah.
And this one guy accosted the mayor, Dada Morero, who I interviewed like a year and a half ago when he was just running. I think he was at that stage running for Premier of Gauteng. And he had the temerity to pitch up, and this resident came, "Can you smell me?"
Yes, he did. He said, "Smell me."
Smell me. And then Dada Morero was like, I don't really want to, but he says, "I have not had a shower in weeks."
But Dada Morero also said, "Why didn't you go and shower at a hotel?"
Yeah.
He said, I do that sometimes.
Well, he says we all be inconvenienced. So sometimes I even have to go to a hotel because of the water.
On the taxpayer dime, that son of a bitch. You know, it's like that Dr. Imogen Mashazi, who was in front of the Madlanga Commission, the woman who wore the, 20 million rand outfit or whatever it was, with all these fancy designer labels. And she's a civil servant. She's a municipal manager for Ekurhuleni, and she's swanning around. Like, this is money she's earned. I mean, first of all, on her salary, you can't buy that. So there's definitely something crooked and rotten going on. But entirely apart from that, does she think any of us look at her and go, I've got a lot of respect for her, you know?
So aspiring.
Yeah, she looks so great. You're like mutton dressed as lamb, honey. And frankly, on our money. We should all be able to take a piece of each of those designer outfits and use it to make ourselves some rags.
Wipe our ass with.
Yeah, something like that.
It's such a weird thing that, because, I mean, I'm not speaking from someone who has and steals lots of money, but I feel like it's to do that to make other people feel shit, like I'm better than you. Like what?
Yeah, it is.
It's like a let them eat cake thing.
Well, it also obviously, people who come from absolutely nothing, or people who have a poverty mindset more than who come from nothing, because there are lots of people who come from nothing and they've made a tremendous success of themselves.
Huge
if you have a poverty mindset, then you think that'll get you respect. And I've been in a position sometimes in my life, to be perfectly honest, where I've thought, well, if I had 20 million rand in the bank, then these people would like me. I mean, when I was much younger, but that's a thing that we all go through.
Take it more seriously, or
you shouldn't be thinking like that if you are a grown-up adult in your 40s or later, and you're still concerned that other people don't think you're rich or don't think you're attractive or any of that stuff. It's
No, you're right. Poverty
ludicrous.
mindset's actually that's the term.
Yeah, so
Because it
she's
comes under
definitely got that, and Dada Morero's got that. But, I don't want to talk about politicians this morning because we all have better things to do. What I want to talk about is, have you guys heard of this dude? His name is Clavicular. You heard of this guy?
Is that Caligula's cousin?
No. Guys, look
Clavicle?
up a picture of him. So he's the leader of a sort of organic online movement called looks maxing. You heard about this?
No.
Okay, you genuinely, this is
brand
new to you.
Brand
tips,
new.
Yes.
Breaking news.
So glad I get to tell you about this because it's such a stupid story. So he was arrested the other day because he was dealing in illegal drugs and at a very young age. Anyway, he's famous because he's always on meth and he punches himself in the face and hits his own face with a hammer so that he
Like
can
self-flagellation.
no, so he can make his jaw stronger.
Oh.
So he can have a great jawline. And what he does is he does this thing called mogging, where he finds other guys who he thinks are not as good looking as him, and then he just kind of they kind of stare at each other. I mean, it's all very weird.
Feels like a fever dream.
Yeah. So this is the this is the state of what comes after celebrity. We've all been asking. Because nobody cares about celebrities anymore. No, Billie Eilish says things at the Grammys, and nobody really gives a shit because celebrities are not a thing anymore. Anyway, Clavicular is this dude, and he's got, I don't know, millions of people who watch him on his Kick stream, whatever that is. And then he's also got a lot of X followers and TikTok followers. And he's become like the leader of this movement for young men who are entirely absorbed in their looks. So because of all the meth and the steroids and everything that he's been taking since the age of 14 or whatever, he's completely infertile.
Braden Peters.
That's his real
is his
name. Yeah, but he calls himself Clavicular, and his whole thing is to go online. And by the way, the only reason I know this guy exists is because it came up on my Instagram feed. I was like, what is this? And then I ignored it. And then
So weird.
about a week later, it came up again. There he is. Okay, this is the guy. So he thinks he's extremely good looking. And
Oh, hang on now. I
yeah, you
recognize
see,
him.
you know him.
No, when you mentioned smashed up jaw, I thought he was going to
No.
look like an ogre. I've seen clips of him saying to women, to their faces, why they're ugly.
Yeah.
He explains
Yeah.
according to their bone structure.
Yeah. He takes a look at everybody and then he's like, oh, your chin to
Whatever ratio.
jaw ratio is
Yeah.
X, Y. I mean, this is his superpower, supposedly, but he's got nothing. Nothing. And I don't mean this in a horrible way. I think that's him on the left, or he's had surgery,
him.
but he hits himself in the face with a hammer and then he takes a whole lot of drugs.
Crystal meth.
And
I don't
this,
buy the meth thing.
I don't understand it.
believes-
I really don't.
No, but
It
like
helps him stay lean.
meth.
Yeah, crystal
Very,
meth.
very good for metabolism, meth, maybe.
So he's like, if you took all the stupid Andrew Tate stuff,
Yeah.
And you
And,
condense
uh,
into one person.
and he has no opinions on kind of anything outside of looks. He says that's all that matters. And the reason I brought it up now is because we were talking about money, and then you talk about looks and the things that make people, make people get up in the morning. Anyway, this guy is the example of he's got no talent. He's got no specific attributes. He's not particularly bright or interesting or any of that stuff. But he started this movement, which now a ton of young guys in mostly like America, but possibly in other places too, their whole purpose is to be the best looking. And that they'll do whatever they need to do, plastic surgery, Ozempic, drugs that keep you lean, whatever it is, which is like taking all the things that healthy people consider like a good place to be and then like exponentially just to the extreme.
So I look at a guy
extremism,
like
yeah.
Clavicular. Sorry, Tian, can you bring that picture back up there
Yeah.
where he's looking all lean and look at me? If you need to take meth to look like that, you're just a pussy. You're just a corner-cutting piece of shit. You
What?
can look like that with hard work.
Yeah, he would say, he'd mug you and say, well,
Who even knows if that's
you,
real?
you
But yeah.
Ben, you have this wrong with you or that
I mean,
wrong with you.
I've got things wrong with me, but if that was my obsession, I would do that without meth,
And without
and
a
I
hammer
wouldn't,
to your face.
and I wouldn't be an absolute dipshit.
He's,
So-
he's that Sydney Sweeney actress.
Mm-hmm.
He said of her, and that's how I saw him. Everyone thinks that she's hot, but she's not. And he used specific, like medical sounding
Oh,
terms
please.
No, she's hot.
about why her eyes are far apart and then like droopy on the side. She has some kind of genetic condition.
You can take him off the screen. We don't need to keep looking at this guy.
Yeah.
So that's how I knew of him.
It's a very weird thing because everyone's got their niche, right? Everyone's got to have their little USP or whatever. But that guy,
Well, in honor of his arrest, I've decided I'm going to.
His arrest?
I'm going to mog.
Drugs.
Well, he was for the drugs. I'm going to mog Leanne and Ben. Ben, by the way, hair's looking great.
Thanks,
but
Gareth.
in order to mog you, I've decided this year I'm going to grow my hair long like Leanne's. That's my. So that's how I'm going to mog
I
you.
don't think I can quite do that yet, but yes.
No, but you could. I mean, soon.
Yeah,
you know?
probably not yet.
No, it looks good. All right, stupid stuff aside, Ben went to the shops the other day. This is fascinating. He found an archaic piece of human culture, an artifact.
What?
Actual living artifact.
An artifact. But it has changed much since any of us last saw this artifact, and that is why it's interesting. Look there, Leanne. Look. It is
A U magazine.
a huisgenoot, but in English, a U magazine, a drum. It is an actual printed magazine.
But look how thin it is.
Look how thin,
look
because
on the left how thin it is.
all the advertising's out. And it's still doing the same stupid shit it did because there are, I don't know, housewives, grandmothers.
Housewife in Velkom isn't suddenly going to become a Pilates teacher. They're going to read the U magazine while drinking condensed milk. That's still going to happen. So
But also a lot
that
of people
market's
still
there.
buy it for the crosswords. Or they'll buy the U crossword.
Maybe,
book.
maybe. I mean, people read the New York Times for the crossword.
I think the
so
U
that's not a-
crossword book probably sells more copies than you.
I think so.
Yeah, and I think things like Sudoku and what's that Wordle?
It's
that
like
thing?
a Wordle. Yeah, there are plenty of.
The New York Times bought Wordle, and I think Wordle makes them more money than
They've even got
selling
moved
the
on
New
to a
York
new
Times.
Oh,
one
no,
now.
it makes no sense. But remember when we were growing up, there was the People magazine, which was the thin and slutty thing.
Yeah, that was the
then-
really that was
and then there was
super.
the
It was
U.
also made of crap paper,
But
like you
now-
wouldn't use.
It was wider.
And it was a different
almost like a
size.
square.
It was a
yeah,
different aspect ratio.
and you wouldn't even use it at the bottom of the bird cage because it might, like, the ink might kill a bird.
And
Any,
it
any
had-
sort of moisture and the page is disintegrated.
Right.
like UFOs and
Yeah, they used to have stories about like
Aliens.
Bigfoot spotted in, the Free State.
my gran used
Pine
to
forest.
read those and believe every word. She believed every word.
Yeah, so she probably went on to read You after that.
But now, U magazine is now almost the same quality. It's the same kind of thickness. I mean, I didn't open it because I've got a life and stuff. But like, it's so thin. It's actually funny.
Well, I appreciate your investigative journalism, and I'm
thank you.
frankly quite thrilled that we got to see a You magazine without actually having to buy one.
So I walked past the newspaper the other day as well.
What?
Also,
Good Lord, Ben, are you living in the 70s?
I know,
What's
I
going
guess-
on here?
No, but there's magazines are still
newspaper.
big. If you think about, they take up a huge amount of shop space at Woolworths.
James, have you ever read a newspaper? No, of course not. Okay,
Because-
but no. Okay, James is a bad example because I don't. When last did you read anything, James? Grade 5. Yeah. Okay, not a great. no.
Gosh.
No,
So you
don't.
saw a newspaper bit? No, ignore James. Let's carry
Well,
on. with
that's
things
it.
to
And
do.
then that made me laugh more because it's like a newspaper. Like, you charge for this because what you're offering is free and in better places.
Do you use newspaper to start fires? I use fire lighters, so I don't even have a use for them there. I really don't have a use for them.
them for if I move or if I need to pack something up.
No,
because you
use
use paper.
and you could buy bubble wrap probably cheaper now.
Yeah.
And, you go on Temu or something.
But
and I
it's
mean, that's
still
from
there.
the days at varsity studying journalism. We obviously had to buy 3 newspapers a day.
Right. Yeah. So you knew what was going on.
Yeah.
I remember I went with a friend of mine while I was at varsity, supposedly studying, right? And my one friend and I would go to the news cafe in Hatfield Square. There was this big-titted waitress who worked there.
Nice.
And we would get the newspaper because it was news cafe, right? That's part of what their whole vibe
And you would
was.
stare at her over the newspaper.
We'd stare at it. We'd order a breakfast. It was very decadent. And we would then go through the newspaper and talk about like the world and solve all the world's problems over a lengthy breakfast. And then maybe we'd go to lectures or maybe not. That was so varsity. Also, what an archaic idea of like having to go and spend other people's money and then having to pay it back if you don't to study a degree that won't get you a job.
You know what else I remember?
What a silly idea.
So
We
many
humans.
silly things out there.
Newspapers, U Magazine, university. What a dumb idea.
What
All
else
of
I
it.
remember from varsity is writing down a really long URL.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing the stuff we had to remember telephone numbers once upon a time. I only know my number. I don't know anyone else's number anymore. It's quite
I
something.
don't even know who to dial in an emergency.
I want you to see something before we get stuck in the reeds on like nostalgia. So this is a real clip of a woman doing the weather.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't know what channel it is. Maybe it'll come up on screen and we'll be able to figure it out.
The nude weather.
No. This is local because it's a map of the Free State. And supposedly, this woman is speaking English.
Okay.
That's what they say. They say it's an English weather report. But you're very good with languages. It's going to take your ear half the clip just to figure out whether it is actually English and to start to translate place names maybe or words that you'll remember like thunder showers or hot or cold or
Is
This
Pressure.
person
degrees.
going to have a stab at cumulonimbus as well.
Listen, if anyone can translate this whole clip, you deserve the Nobel Prize for language, literature, comprehension. If there are all those prizes, you get all of them. Because this, and this is really for Leanne to try and decode for us. She's good at this stuff. I haven't got a hope in hell. I have no idea what she's talking about. I recognize the shape of the Free State. That's it. And then this person talks. But the accent's weird. Everything about it is weird.
Augsburg will mild with 18 degrees Celsius, Smongon will be 19 degrees Celsius, Horace Tabatzak and Smokon will be 20 degrees Celsius, and we are anticipating some isolated rain and thunderstorms during the day. However, it will become scattered at night. Tomorrow night minimum temperatures, we're expecting them to drop in the range 15 degrees Celsius to 7 degrees Celsius. Wednesday, it will be mild with a chance of widespread rain and thunderstorms, whereas on Thursday we're expecting it to be scattered rain and thunderstorms, and it will be slightly warm. Looking into travels forecast, Cape Town will be 27 degrees Celsius, whereas Gaborone will be 28 degrees Celsius, and Windhoek will be 32 degrees.
It's incredibly bad.
Okay, so it's Lesotho. We worked that out because I reckon. So on my phone, it was too small.
Yeah.
And now I saw some of the place names. I'm like, oh, okay, Maseru, it's got to be Lesotho. But how's that accent? What is that? What's going on there?
It's ridiculous.
I know lots of Sotho people. They don't sound like that.
Yeah, it's like she's just come out of a
Fuck is
horse
that?
race into a weather report.
Yeah.
And degrees Celsius is a bit of a tongue twister.
I actually work with someone who speaks like that.
No.
I promise you. And when I hear her call my name, I actually go a bit cold.
How does she say it?
Leanne, degrees Celsius.
Because I think I'm not going to understand what
Does
she's
she?
saying.
How does she say your name?
Oh, yeah.
Leanne, come on.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe this is like she's like the clavicular weather reporters. Maybe we're all getting so dumb because by the way, this is an absolute fact now. The first generation to be dumber on all intelligence testing that they can deploy, pattern recognition, language, literacy, numeracy, every measurable variable, they have calculated across several longitudinal studies at many universities. Gen Z is about to be the first generation in recorded history that is dumber than the previous generation.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm sorry, I'm not. I don't understand. I've said it before. I don't understand how a generation brought up in the digital age can know less about computers than myself, who's 2 generations older and was brought up in the analog age.
Forget computers. Everything.
That's one aspect.
Like everything. Imagine if you were in ancient Egypt and you had access to the whole of the Library of Alexandria every day and you just sat on the steps taking fucking selfies. That's what it would, posing in front of a mirror. That's what's going on here. This is
the clavicular moment, right?
It's just unacceptable. It's unacceptable that people have all of this information. And now we've got AI to do a whole lot of the drudgery for us. It can compile a perfectly curated essay on something you're interested in. You could read that. Look, there's probably going to be 100 errors in it. But then the fun part is actually figuring it out for yourself. There's no curiosity. None. You have this treasure trove. I saw this clip the other day. This guy said, people talk about wealth and how we want abundant wealth. Like Elon talks about a universal high income, right? Where basically everyone on earth will have so much money that we can do fun things with our time. You can paint, you can go on hikes, you can travel, you can read. And he says that would be the abundance of wealth future. Well, you're living in an era right now where there is an abundance of information and of useful knowledge and of fascination.
Okay.
And people are choosing. This is like if you had $1 million and you only paid your rates and taxes.
Okay, but then let's take a rich kid analogy. Forget about their intelligence, where they could spend money on the most interesting things to do, and they don't. Who's the most bored? Rich kids. Okay, now you put kids into an environment where they've got access to abundant knowledge. What do? They don't use it. You need to be a little bit hungry for it.
Oh, right.
Like I remember when
Okay, I see what you mean.
when knowledge was difficult to attain or to obtain.
Yeah, you had to go to libraries and
I
things.
would, in my school holiday, go to the library, ask my mum to take me to the library.
How did I know you
I
were
would
a
sit
library
there.
girl?
Oh, I was a librarian too, and a library prefect.
Were you?
Yes.
Library prefect?
Yes. I used to go to the library and spend the day there doing my own project on bees because I was so interested in bees.
Okay,
There was that hunger for knowledge because we didn't
great.
have access.
Okay,
Yeah.
but why did you want to do that? Because I think this is the biggest problem, is that did you do it because you wanted to be employed, or did you do
I
it?
was in standard 5.
Well, you're also a library prefect, Leanne. I don't know how big your dreams were. Snap at me. You're not a library prefect anymore.
I did snap at you, sorry.
Yeah, that was very snappy.
The weight of that badge still
Why are you
burns.
asking that?
Well, because I think a lot of people nowadays, it's like they don't know how good life can be. So therefore, they don't try harder. So all these things about having knowledge and having all these different skills you can do, it's like, well, why must I bother? What's it going to do for me? I just don't think they're exposed to enough people who are doing really great shit. And sometimes in the third world, probably all the time in the third world, we don't have those references. Poverty mindset again, right? Why
but hang
must you
on.
try harder?
How can you say you're not exposed to people who are doing cool shit? Or, like, there's never been more exposure of
But in
cool
personal,
shit.
in personal exposure, you can go on Instagram and go, oh, look, that person's rich. They've got a Bugatti, whatever. But that's not really real.
So how must they be, what do you mean, like meet people?
Yeah.
In real life.
Yeah.
IRL?
who are-
No, guys, I'm just asking the question. Is it because they hadn't had that exposure? Is it because the incentive isn't tangible?
I don't know the answer to that question. What I do know for sure is that we got to stop babysitting people. Like, part of the reason that people were motivated is because they didn't have an option.
That's exactly it. So they had to go and find.
Millions of years ago. But if you didn't, you're a Victorian child, you didn't climb up that chimney, you wouldn't get any money to take home, and you'd be beaten by your parents and the people at the chimney sweep office.
You have to solve the problems by yourself.
Yeah, solving problems, right? And I think that AI is going to make us even worse at this. I think that was the doorbell.
Come in.
Who's here?
Do we have a doorbell?
It's an encyclopedia salesman.
Hello, I'm here with the U magazine and a very thin newspaper to sell you an encyclopedia.
Great, you can have my last 30 cents.
All right, so comment section, let's just see what's going on here. Too much of something is never a good thing, says Vyasan. Maybe this is to your point, Ben.
Too much money, too much knowledge.
And to yours. We actually valued photos in the day of film. We kept every photo, even if it was a blur. So many digital photos these days, and we hardly value one of them. Good point. The biggest Gen Z ambition is to have a great phone, says Chris. You don't need personal exposure, says Bitcoin Butt. Put on YouTube and watch a live stream of SpaceX launching and land a rocket. That's inspiration.
Cool. Yeah.
That's a good point. Rebellious Ruth says on another topic, if our rails worked and our ports functioned the way they used to, this country would be thriving. Good point, Ruth, but we weren't talking about that. Anyway, I mean, it's great that you brought that up because those are things that the government needs to take care of. Yes, absolutely, indeed. And then this comment from Patrick, IQ levels dropping as the years go on. Yes. Well, that was the point of that study, is it's saying everybody wants the next generation to be smarter than them. I remember as a kid thinking, well, maybe we'll get those skateboards that fly, the hoverboards. Maybe we'll get...
We spoke about it. I used to read a physical map on the way to Durban driving
right.
and wish that there was a red dot that I...
And now even the cheap cars have those, right? And this is what's so great, is you want the next generation to be brilliant. I want them to discover amazing stuff. Gen Z is going to be dumber by almost every measure. Big worry.
Super concerning.
Yeah. And we're not going to babysit you fuckers forever. At some point, people are going to go, you know what?
It's exhausting, though.
But the welfare, that's what it is. They're living with their parents until they're like 35. It's unacceptable.
Not solving problems. That's what Leanne said. You got to be solving problems in life, even if it's just your own.
All right, well, let's turn to something a little more optimistic, because have you seen that Lewis Hamilton is dating Kim Kardashian? Look at this. Your screen hasn't frozen. There we go. Lewis Hamilton dating Kim Kardashian. Isn't that great?
I don't.
For those who are listening to the podcast, it's just a guy looking into a great giant hole in the ground. And that is, and it says what Lewis Hamilton sees every night. Lewis Hamilton, of course, the Formula One driver. Kim Kardashian, the what?
Is it referring to her? The fact that she's
her
vacuous?
enormous vagina,
Yes.
Leanne, after she's been plowed by several.
Is that how you become a library prefect? Don't get jokes. Yes, I
I'm
didn't
very
get that.
good at getting jokes.
You're right.
I've got a Valentine's Day joke for you.
Go on. Yes, it is Valentine's Day tomorrow. Let's
Topical,
do a
nice.
Valentine's Day joke. Go on.
What is better than roses on my piano? Tulips on my organ.
All right, that still works. That's what do we rate that out of 10?
That's
Give
a
it about
9. That's brilliant.
I saw Congo Chris on Instagram yesterday tagged me in a German clip, and I got very nervous. I thought, uh-oh, his Germans are weird. And it turned out to be the word Heimscheißer, which is someone who only shits at home. And I was very, I was very touched.
You respect a Heim.
Let me tell you,
Heimscheißer.
You are a Heimschmeißer.
I'm Heimscheißer. Congo Chris, at that moment, we became real life friends because you know me so well. I would never shit anywhere except at home.
I lost something very important to me this week.
Is that how you value your shits?
It was a große Katzenklappe.
Excuse me?
I had a große Katzenklappe in my window frame at home.
That would be a cat
It's a
smacker.
big a cat flap.
Oh, Jesus! I got nervous for a second when you started doing the.
It's from Germany. So
little bit
basically,
nervous.
that flap that the cat can enter and exit, right?
Okay.
And that whole frame was taken out because all my
Katzenklappe.
doors and windows have been replaced, right?
Oh, right.
But yes, it was from Germany and it was called the
Did you
Große
break
Katzenklappe.
all your doors and windows within the space of a few weeks?
So my landlord mentions that he'd like to change the steel frames, you know, the cottage panes in the cottage, all of them.
That's appropriate. Cottage pane on a cottage, yeah.
But I mean, like, you know, it's from an old farmhouse. It used to be a horse stable, and the windows don't close properly. Not eco-friendly. Time to upgrade into aluminium windows and doors. So I say that's fine.
Okay.
He speaks about the quotes, shows me the 2 different quotes.
This is none of your business, actually.
Well, I live in there.
Yes, but all he has to do is say to you,
yes.
just stay in the bedroom for like
And
and
I
then
thought
move
it
to the
would be
lounge
like
after that.
right? And
Yeah.
coming from a family of renovators I know
Yeah,
what
you know your
replacing
way around.
windows.
Yeah.
So he talks about it for 2 weeks, gives me 4 hours notice before they arrive. I would have moved like my soft furnishings out, taken my curtains down, put
Sure.
plastic over things. No, it was on a Monday morning with 4 hours notice.
Holy hell. And you had to go to the office.
I had to go to work. So stuffed the cat in a cottage, another one. Went to work, came home, and it was like a bomb site.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's not great.
No, it wasn't good.
Because,
For a
when,
week, it
when,
was
when
like
people
that.
upset your home, it really, like, obviously for
It's hard,
people,
it's
people who've
very
had
unsettling.
people who've had to deal with burglars and that kind of thing, it really does. It feels like your most intimate security has been
So that would
voided.
just
but-
make him a shizer then, basically.
Yeah,
to
I'm
carry on with the
a
Really
German
shizer.
word.
bad
He's just a
planning.
shizer.
He's just a shizer.
I don't think he planning. But still, I lost the Gorge Katzenklappe.
Well, that's a good word. And I'm reliably informed by another listener of ours on Instagram, that's Tracy, that this comes up in the log of the show as being our 1,000th show, but it's not our 1,000th show.
It's already passed, hasn't it?
Yeah, but this thing includes clips. We've probably done 25,000 shows if you include,
Hooray.
if you include, 10 years of Cliff Central and then...
Have we ever had a milestone show? We
I
used to
don't know.
do
I mean,
birthday shows.
I'm willing
Had
to...
years, yeah.
I'm willing to make a big fuss, but we can't be sure that it's our 1,000th show.
No, well, it's not. I mean, we just ascertained that there's clips and stuff.
Yeah.
It's way more.
So
but can
therefore-
we have a milestone show?
Yeah,
and get like a really big
let's
guest.
just do it. I was thinking we should do a dress-up thing for a couple of weeks. 1 week we can dress up as Dutchmen. The next week we could celebrate the lesbians, and all of us dress up like lesbians. And it could be very funny.
I think we should do that.
I think it would be fun.
Okay. Once a month we have a dress
I had a dream
up.
last
Okay.
night that Gareth held like some kind of big either reunion or announcement party where there were a whole lot of us. You were there. We were all under lights and mics, and it was being televised. And
Jesus.
there were people from our industry from years ago who were there. It was insane, like in quite a big stadium.
Well, I'm glad it's a dream because in real life that's the opposite of what I
Yeah,
ever
no,
want to do.
exactly.
Yeah.
So guys, let's do once a month. Let's say like the last Friday.
Yeah, good idea.
Am I like really zoomed in here?
Yeah, are you guys trying to punish Ben for something?
I know I've got a big head, but compared to the two of you, I'm just like extra
Yeah, you do
exposed.
look. I mean, maybe his framing is better. Maybe the comments section can guide us here because you guys are watching this. If you
I'm
are
very
on,
on the
YouTube.
screen here.
Tell us
Cool.
if you like the.
So guys, I think we should do a third Fridays. Every third Friday we have a theme. People can actually
That's a good idea.
suggest the theme.
Yeah, suggest the theme. I think it could be
Lesbians.
quite
I think let's start with
fun.
lesbians.
Start with lesbians. We all have to dress like lesbians
Start with that.
at the end of February. Okay? Deal. I like it. Ben, are you allowed to brush your hair? Did you forget? Says Durban Dope. Did you forget? He's so unused to having this much hair that he forgot.
How about get fucked? It's 6 a.m. You're lucky we're on time. I got to bed at like 1 o'clock this morning.
What were you doing?
Just thank you so much.
Look at how the sofa gets smaller as well and bigger.
Wow, that's great. All right, Leanne, just a really big work day. We're filming some golf stuff and
All right. By the way, if you're listening to this, is annoying as hell for the people watching because they just zoomed right in on Ben. All right,
It's his fillings.
Gareth, put some space between the Dutchman and lesbian dress up. It's a hop and a skip from one to another. Carlos Santos. They both buy their clothes at Builder's Warehouse. Actually, don't they buy them at
Didn't we
that?
call it Bill Dyke's whorehouse?
I did. Don't they go to that place that make Johnson Workwear?
Those sorts of places used to be prolific where I lived.
All right,
near
guys,
Robertson.
the joke's done. You fucking idiots in the production booth.
Where I lived near Robertson, where it was all like
Yes.
either wine or industrial
yeah.
shit and farming.
Overalls.
Agri-mark
Right.
type things.
sturdy fabrics.
Lots
Trappers
of like
trading.
toe steel capped shoes
Right.
and things that you couldn't chop your fingers off.
Right. Like chainmail gloves.
And there were fashion sections with like
Oh, well, I mean, where else?
two-tone shirts.
Where else do the lesbians go?
Fashion segments, two-tone shirts.
I think we got to. Okay, but let's start
It's like
with.
hose pipes.
Let's
fashion.
start with lesbians.
We'll dress like lesbians and then
And-
offend every
yeah.
lesbian that doesn't dress like
Yeah,
that.
like who are we offending here and how much cancelling would there
There's
be?
no such thing as
please.
cancelling.
Not anymore. It's
There's no
done.
such thing.
It's 2026.
Cancelling is over. You haven't got a hope in hell. If you try to cancel people in this day and age, you're in for a world of pain.
You're a prick.
Yeah, and people just laugh at you. I mean, there was this thing. I don't know if you saw this. One of Trump's staffers posted
Yes.
a clip from In the Jungle, the
Lion
Mighty
King.
Jungle. It's
Yeah.
the Lion King. Anyway, they put everybody in American politics, and then Trump's obviously the lion, but they made Barack and Michelle Obama monkeys, okay? And people who have nothing else to do but get outraged, got very upset about the monkeys. Did you see Trump's response?
Yes, I did.
It was up via Truth Social, right?
Yeah, because he's
But I
not
saw
on any.
the actual interview where he said words.
Okay, so let me read this to you because it is, I mean, it's really very funny. I'm going to do it in his voice because you can choose to be offended or you can react like he did and make it even funnier. And it doesn't matter if your intention is that you're an evil racist or you made a mistake or you don't care at all, because most of us are in the last category, especially when it comes to politicians. He says, many people have commented on a post that was made up by a White House staffer. I even heard from the family of Jane Goodall. And they said, Mr. President, the apes are very upset that you compared them to the Obamas. It was not very nice of you. And I said, I've never thought of it that way before. We don't want to make the apes sad. There have been many good and famous apes throughout the years, such as Coco, Harambe, Bear, and the orange one who was friends with Clint Eastwood.
This is bizarre. Is this true?
This is true. Many such examples of apes, enough to fill a whole channel. We want to make apes great again, so I told them to delete the post. I mean...
Okay, no, that's a very funny response.
It's very clever.
It's the funniest thing he's ever come up with.
I just also think, throwing around these, you're a misogynist, you're a racist, you're a Islamophobe, you are anti-Semite. It's just enough. Those things have been watered down in the last 10 to 15 years, probably only really the last 5, to such a degree that they are meaningless now. Mm. And I love the fact that people are getting edgy again. You get comedians. I saw Bill Burr tearing into girls who hold their cups like this, like they're a toddler the other day. And I thought, yes, that's an irritating thing. People need to pick up on it. Now, there's bound to be some mom with a water bottle this big with a straw in it,
the size of a
who holds it like that every day and thinks that that's hugely offensive. But who cares what she thinks, right? So let's get back to offending everybody like our comment section does. Bitcoin Butt, for example, says, dress like that lesbian Renee Good, the one who got shot by the ICE officials. That's a good idea. Be a bit messy, though, first thing in the morning. Gareth, did you see the Subway Queen? Who's that, Bitcoin Butt? Tell me. That's very interesting. We have been desensitized by all the sensitivity. Well, you know what happens. The great Eric Weinstein, who I had the pleasure of meeting a while ago, he says that when you have a revolutionary illiberalism, which is kind of what we've had over the last couple of years, it is bound to be countered.
It's cyclical.
By the opposite, where people go out of their way to be offensive and dominant and, restore the old world order.
We do not know how to live with our own equilibrium. We don't know how to maintain our own equilibrium.
It's a state of overcorrection the whole time.
We're always...
Yeah, we can... The pendulum, as Bill Maher always says, the pendulum never lands in the middle.
Yeah.
It keeps swinging wildly from one side to the other. And this is what we're dealing with.
In business trends. You see it in marketing trends, in fashion trends.
Right. James, find the Subway Queen for us. I want to know who that is.
Is that the woman who was getting abused by the black woman and then she said the N-word and then the doors closed?
Don't know, but I saw one very funny video of a guy who got onto a Subway thing and started swearing at some dude. So he just pushed him out of the Subway and the doors closed and he was and he got so angry and he was chasing after. It's also some kind of emotional regulation ability that people seem to have lost. Part of being an adult, and I'm sure you've seen this, whether it's in traffic, whether it's in a public place where there are a lot of people and there's a concert or a queue at home affairs. Very many people, let's not say all people, because some people are adult and have learned to regulate their emotions. But on the internet especially, because it's almost become a zoo for humans. You go onto the internet to watch other humans behave really badly. And there are whole channels dedicated to humans doing dumb stuff, right? But it seems that...
Oh, yesterday was Darwin Day, by the way.
On that
note.
Right. Well,
I thought I would see people just dropping dead wherever I went.
Oh, I heard about the dumbest death ever the other day. And I've got to pull it up because there's this channel that I've now started following where this guy actually looks at... Every week he goes through the dumbest deaths on planet Earth. And the lawyer was he was lecturing in a skyscraper to a bunch of students about the law of delict and how construction companies have to build a certain level of safety into their buildings because otherwise they could be sued. And this lawyer, this true story, the lawyer went like, for example, I can like run at this glass window, full-length glass window, and I'll bounce back because it's like reinforced glass and all that. And he did, and he bounced back. And then the idiot did it again, and the glass smashed, and he fell to his death.
Wow.
Oh.
People.
That's classic. So the subway girl, what I can pick up.
Yes.
Yeah, that's her.
She went viral for calling a group of black people the N-word on the subway. Sydney Claire Goyens.
What a name.
She used the slur, then stepped out moments before the subway door closed, leaving passengers fuming. She has spoken out over the incident on social media since, and there's a photograph of her there where she is dating a black guy, where he's her prom date and kissing her on the cheek.
Yeah. Well,
So, I don't know, is she saying, I had a black boyfriend, so I can use the N-word? Or I don't know what she's really
I reckon
saying.
she could take a pass. I reckon there should be N-word passes now.
You mean if you... Yeah, you know, there are two things about this that irritate me. First of all, that it's still a story because guess what? There are going to be shit people who don't like you just because you're tall, short, black, white, rich, poor, fat, thin. There are going to be people like that. So there's this childish idea that everybody needs to love each other all the time and that anything other than love is hate, which is not true. People have preferences. Some people don't want to date someone with bad skin. It's a preference, right? And not everyone's going to like you, and you don't need approval and love from strangers. It's childish to want that. So that irritates me, and I do think that there is a decency and good manners that has slipped from society, so that's the other side of that, where I just wish people would treat each other as individuals and not use slurs. It's fine if you're going to be funny and if everybody's in on the joke, but we all know that there's no reason for you to go out and be deliberately rude, especially if you're emotionally reacting, which it seems this woman was.
Losing your temper.
And then there's the emotional reaction from all the people who you said were fuming on the train. Why, guys? Like, it's some random chick who obviously ran out of vocab and decided to collectively abuse you. And you can choose to get upset about that, or you can choose to just completely ignore her and get on with your life because maybe you have more important things to do than she does. That would be the adult thing to do.
But the victim here from the clip that I saw was very much this girl.
Why?
She was by herself.
All right.
And this group of women, in this case, black women, were abusing her, calling all kinds of things. And she got off. She took the high ground of being like, okay, fuck this, I'm out of here. And she went off. And then the plot twist is that she said that word and then the door's closed.
Well, okay,
I mean,
so
people can be offended
it's comical,
and say,
right? It's comical.
It's comical because of like the timing and like the contrast of actions. And it is funny. I mean, come on. I know people get offended for so much, and the word's got historical significance, is why it's so offensive.
No, but we've got to also stop making certain words magic and other words.
There's also
not.
that. That's,
Like abracadabra. I found out that actually is. It's an ancient word, a real extant magic word from an ancient language. That really did mean something once. I always thought it was made up, abracadabra. But we've got to stop giving the N word, the K word, all of these things so much power. It never gets, it's never going to result in anything good to treat it as if it's a special word.
Yeah, I mean, look, as a white person, this is a tough conversation because apparently I would never get it. But I still don't understand why do people use the N word so liberally, and then other people can't say it at all. It's like the word. And I know there's reasoning behind it. But
In
why
rap
is
music, it's always the N word, N word,
yeah,
N
yeah,
word.
endlessly, and you call each other that.
I also think that if you really want to insult somebody, and if you really hate them, and you want to be cutting and mean and hurt them in a serious way, you have to be specific about your insult. No good to be general. And all these collective terms are just so general. They don't achieve the desired result. If your desire is to upset that person maximally, you've got to know something about. It's
got to be really personal. And unique to that person.
Your mom's a whore, and you know that it's
Yeah.
true. It's hurtful. It's way too general to just. You whatever.
Yeah.
You black guy, white guy, whatever it is. It's just so general. Hanan is on. Jesus, we're wasting time talking shit here when we could get to Hanan. If we don't have our psychology appointment once a week, we'll
don't
spin
know
out of
how to
control.
Collaborate.
All right,
What's
well-
it? Calibrate.
Calibrate, yes. We need to figure out where on the spectrum we are because everyone's on the spectrum. So it's time for It's Going to Be Okay with Dr. Hanan. I forgot that we called it that, but that's the point of this. He's a renowned psychologist. For those of you who've never met him, look, there he is, resplendent in glory on exactly the same sofa as Leanne and Ben, but in a different room, believe it or not.
He's right next to me.
Yeah.
He's right there.
He's sitting right next to you. Okay. I didn't realize.
Same wood paneling.
Same wood paneling, everything. Look at this, Dr.
That
Hanan.
actually really
Have you
works
been
out.
copying our set, or did we copy yours? All right, let's talk about something that came up on the show last week and that we wanted to move on from, because Dr. Hanan spoke about the language that people use to justify staying in their comfort zone, something which we've brought up a couple of times. And one term that stood out was soul-level incompatibility. I mean, we were taking the piss a little bit out of these terms, but Gen Z seems to, and I'm sorry we're beating up on Gen Z this morning, that was not my intention, but you
And
guys,
there are exceptions to the rule.
of course, there are good Gen
Speaking of
Zs.
generalization.
There are bad Gen Xs. We all know. It's not as simple as just being born at a certain time that determines everything about you. But is this a real psychological concept, or is it just a Gen Z era label? This idea of soul-level incompatibility, which people are now citing even in divorce papers, apparently.
Yeah, it's actually a lazy excuse, and it's just a mystical terminology to justify why you want to leave the relationship. These days, especially the young Gen Zs are all about immediate gratification, and unless the relationship serves a particular need for the here and the now, the younger generation are not prepared to work hard for it. So the moment it becomes a little bit difficult, conflict arises, something happens that doesn't satisfy my immediate urges, well, I can just exit. But I need an excuse to exit. I can't just exit for no reason. So I come up with these terminologies and these justifications of why I should leave. But actually, it's just your inability to stay through the rough times, which is, by the way, any healthy relationship, companionship will go through its ups, its downs, it's normal. Good relationships are not found, they are made. The whole analogy of two puzzle pieces coming together and you're compatible from day one, it's a fallacy. It doesn't work. It works on TikTok and Instagram and rom-coms. The reality is you build good relationships and you create them So if you are in a relationship that has conflict, there's potential for growth. You don't just run away. But yes, people use that as justification to run away from healthy relationships as opposed to work hard at it.
What's the dumbest excuse you've ever heard someone use for getting out of a relationship? I mean, you get to have front row seat to people's pathetic, mind-numbing, dumb ideas of how they can justify getting out of something rather than just owning up to it, manning up, for the want of a better term, and saying, I just can't do this anymore. I'm not happy. How do people work around that and obfuscate and come up with just crazy ideas so that they don't have to take the blame or take the responsibility?
Like getting the ick.
Yeah. You hear about getting the ick. It's a thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I've compiled a new list of things that I've heard over the last 21
boy.
years. But actually more so in the last 2 or 3 years, these mystical excuses that justify why people should leave. And I think you would love these, and you're welcome to put on any accent you want. So one of them is, your frequency doesn't resonate with my higher self.
Oh,
Right, that's one.
Leanne, say it for us.
Yeah.
Say it for us in the whiniest voice you can.
So like, what is it? Your frequency?
Doesn't resonate with my
So
higher.
like, your frequency doesn't like resonate with my higher self.
Yes, you got it absolutely right. It's usually the person who would say that is doing that vocal fry thing, which is a straight up sign that this is a very stupid person
You get
who's
this
watched
TikTok
I've got another one for you.
TV.
Listen to this one. This one.
I'm ready.
Leanne, this one's a good one. My spirit guides are telling me to release this connection.
Wow.
Okay, this is much more of I'm thinking the voice should be a Drew Barrymore type
Yeah.
voice.
Yeah.
My spirit guides. You got to sound vacuous as hell.
Yes.
You got to sound like there is a howling wilderness between your ears, and somehow you believe.
You care if Gemini's in retrograde or Mercury's rising or
Oh, hell yes. And
Yeah.
you've been for ayahuasca 23 times,
Yes.
and you go to the tarot
So
card
listen to this
reader.
one. You'll love this one. I need to get you some of these because you'll love it. So instead of turning to your partner and say, I'm struggling with your emotions, I've heard this one lately. I need to protect my spiritual ecosystem.
It's like you're the game ranger in your own forest in your head. Who knows? Wow.
Instead of saying, you know what, I struggle with with your communication, I've heard your energy disrupting my alignment.
Also, just made up. This
when
stuff
you-
is
when-
totally made up.
You need an emotional chiropractor to realign you.
Well, linking to that, okay, well, here's a good one. This one has been around for a long time. Our chakras aren't syncing.
Chakras. I'm sure that there are actual gurus who have been working on themselves for 70 years who hear a latte clutching American California chick with sunglasses on and super high heels and the tightest jeans ever saying that, who go, for God's sake, stop using the word chakra. You're upsetting me. All right. Now, Dr. Hanan, what is your response? Because you have to be, I mean, we know because we get to see you once a week, and nobody knows we have these conversations, but we get to see you have a sense of humor. But when you're in the chair and they're lying on your sofa in your therapy environment, and you're talking to them, and they come up with this shit, do you just burst into fits of laughter, or do you have to maintain a straight face and you have to be like, well, listen, that language is not going to help you? How do you deal with this? How do you deal with this? How much money do they have to pay you to fucking keep a straight face?
So what I tell everybody is that, as you know, our emotions are pathological lies. I tell people you can't rely on your intuition or your gut or your instincts or your emotions to make most decisions, never mind in love. And people go, well, how can I trust a relationship if it's not for love? Well, I say to people, divorce rates these days are at about 60%. The 40% of the people that are together, half of them shouldn't be. Love is not an accurate barometer in order to assess whether you should be in a relationship or not. You rely on real data. Real data should guide you in whether you should be with this person or not. It's about compatibility, which is based on real objective data, not feelings. Feelings change with a cup of coffee. Feelings change with a good night's sleep. You might like someone after a cup of coffee. You know, your blood sugar level drops. You might not like them anymore. Don't rely on frivolous, flaky things such as feelings to dictate whether you should be in a business relationship, in a romantic relationship, in a companionship. Use the data to assess whether you should be in a relationship. Is there communication? Is there trust? Yeah. Is there intimacy? Is there attraction? Do we complete each other in terms of similar values? Can we be playful together? Do we put the same things into the party? Do we bring the same value to the party? That's the data points.
Let me ask you this, because it came up in our conversation a little bit earlier. I've noticed a lot of people have zero emotional regulation during the course of a normal day. Like you talk about how, you know, our emotions are liars, and that if you follow your feelings, as many people have been told they should do over the last, couple of decades now, these people, they don't have the ability to regulate their emotions. You should be the master of your emotions, not let your emotions be the master of you. Is that right, Dr. Hanan, or have I got it by the arse?
Yeah, definitely. But nobody can regulate their emotion. Again, regulating your emotion is being able to say, I have feelings and they come and go. I feel motivated, demotivated, happy, sad. I love life. I question life. That's normal, and that will happen throughout the course of the day. Regulating your emotion is about putting your emotions aside and acting in line with what is going to be favorable to the future version of you. What are your goals? And just act in favor of that. Don't allow your emotions to dictate whether you should turn left and right. Be guided by the goal.
So in other words, if a temper tantrum at work is going to be bad for you in the future, which it will be because people won't want to work with you anymore, you need to regulate that and make the decision at the time to not be stroppy.
Is she talking nonsense?
Children are.
Or is that right?
Children are impulsive. Children are impulsive.
Yeah.
Children just feel and act.
Yes.
Adults are able to put the emotions aside and act in line with what's in the best service of the future version.
I think we all got to just get a handle on this. Yesterday, by the way, Dr. Hanan, you'll be delighted to hear this. I was so happy for no good reason. I was busy. Like I tidied things up, or you know, the stuff that gives me happiness. And I just thought, I'm so happy. I better calm the fuck down. I am way too happy. This is not good for me. I need to stop being so happy. There are people suffering. There is hunger and plague and famine and war in Gaza and God knows what else. You better stop this. And I regulated my emotion down a few degrees. I thought, just don't let the world know that you're so happy. I mean this.
Yes,
I was genuinely happy.
You could become ecstatic, Gareth, over a line of straight tuna tins and
no
a good
idea.
Avo.
Yes, you have no idea. But I stopped myself. You'll be proud of me, Dr. Hanan. I stopped myself from being super happy. I was like, just be average happy. And I did. And then
But you know what, Gareth? There's a lot of wisdom there, and I'm not even kidding, because you shouldn't marry the lows and you shouldn't marry the highs either.
Right.
You need to be stoic about it, because once you marry the highs, then you become a slave to wanting that all the time, which is not life's offering. The laws of the land does not offer you that all the time. The aim should not be how do I feel high. The aim is how do I live my life with purpose and meaning.
Right. And aspire to keep your emotions in the band of moderately high to moderately low. Don't be one of those emotion addicts who always wants to be super, super happy and then really miserably
live in the sadness.
Dreadful sad. Yeah, I mean, you're just asking yourself.
It's a pendulum thing we're talking about.
Yes.
But but
Very
like
good.
personal pendulums.
Very good. Ben is tying it all
Don't be a
together.
bellend.
See, that's what I like about Ben. He catches on all the little loose threads and
Now,
he
you know what it
ties
actually
all
is,
together.
and it's a bad characteristic of mine. I get tired of people's conversations and I end them for them. Not this
right.
one.
Okay, well, Dr. Hanan, then
no.
it's time for you to go.
No,
clearly.
I don't mean it in this case. It's just that this toxic trait of mine
Yeah?
means that I'm a summer upper a lot of the time.
Okay.
Because a lot of people talk, and I just go, yeah, so, and
Yeah,
therefore
you
that.
actually do that.
And I realized the other day.
You go,
I
well,
did
it's a
that.
pendulum thing.
Is
Anyway,
it because you wanted to stop?
in the
Yes.
golf.
That's exactly it. Okay, I've got enough information here for us to put a pin in this.
Dr. Hanan, you got time for a separate session with Ben at some point?
No.
For sure. Anytime.
Wants to talk about pendulums for
I'm
an
not
hour.
derailing.
Just before we let Ben have his way and call a close to this, Veronica says, very smart in the comments, she says, we have to be happy for those who suffer. In other words, we're making up for all their misery with some happiness. I don't know that the emotional cake on planet Earth is only
It's
so
not
big.
balanced that way. Because in that case, it's like saying if it's drought somewhere, it's raining somewhere else. But
I don't. It's
we
in
were-
other words, it's not a zero-sum game. Okay, very good, Dr. Hanan. As always, it's been a great pleasure to spend some time with you this morning.
Nice to
It
see
is
you
the
guys.
highlight. It's the highlight of many of our week. And by the way, James, have we started with those breakdowns, those timestamps that will allow people who don't want to hear, like Ben, for example, who doesn't want to hear a whole lot of shit. He just wants to skip to the part that he wants. Like, let's say you want sport, which is all he really cares about. You go to the sport. We're gonna make sure that's in place from this week.
And that's how the pendulum swings. What's
Thanks,
Gary
Dr.
Player
Hanan.
doing, Ben?
Winning. No, at the moment, Gary Player's having his annual bitch about the fact that he can't take his grandkids to Augusta to go play the golf there.
So you're saying Gary Player is still a very involved grandfather. And moving on.
Great grandfather.
Nice one.
Yeah. I
Great
just did a
grandfather.
Ben.
No, you don't say
Okay.
moving on, Gareth. That's crass. You say something that draws a
I
conversation.
didn't say
to it.
moving on. She did.
You just said moving on.
said
The words
moving on.
came out of your
Damn it, I
mouth.
tried to blame her and it didn't work.
Don't blame me.
I was just hoping people wouldn't pay attention. All right, if you are paying attention, listen. If you've been paying attention to the internet, it's not just idiots like Clavicular that are getting our attention. There is, and we've been very hard on Gen Z this morning, but there's a guy who I saw on Instagram last week, maybe even 2 weeks ago. This guy is a DeInfluencer. And I immediately thought, wow, what a cool idea. He's doing the opposite of all the influencers are doing. Because he said in a video that I watched subsequently, he wanted to become an influencer, but he decided that that market's a bit crowded. It's very hard to do it. The content game is hugely competitive at the moment. But this guy broke through the noise to me and probably to thousands of other people, if not more. And his name is Levi Brown. The reason I wanted to bring him onto the show was because I saw a video initially about how he decided, as just a student, to take on the mighty Virgin Active.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Love
right?
that video.
Do you want to show his video, a little bit of it, before we go to him? Yeah. Let's just take a look at his video. I thought this was brilliant.
I love that. It was so good.
If I can help bring some attention to what he's doing, great. Let's take a look at Levi Brown and you'll see who we're talking about.
Dear Virgin Active, what actual My membership went from 740 Rand to 1,010 Rand due to upgrades. That's more than 30%.
That's not so bad, Levi. Gyms are expensive.
Well, then let's see their reasoning. Here we go. This looks promising. Yes. Exercise classes designed by a 9-year-old take up all the mat space. All the kettlebells and dumbbells are reserved during peak times. Everyone is going to love that. I'm sure we won't have staff begging people to join the classes. Expert personal trainer. These people are incredible. They are great at their job. They definitely don't cost you 500 Rand an hour. Anyways, it must be worth my 300 Rand contract upgrade. Pools, spas, lounges and cafes. It's almost like it doesn't matter that the aircon has never worked. The machines are broken within days and the repairs take forever. This is so cool. This is worth 300 Rand upgrade, even though it was there and I was paying less. Cool. Social wellness events that I give zero shits about. That is worth my 300 Rand. Doesn't even feel like I'm drinking much NC point. Dude, I just want a gym, but this sounds totally worth 1,000 rand a month student contract. How everyone's feeling about that. Ladies and gentlemen, the conclusion we've come to is Virgin Active need to be stopped, and they're not being held accountable. So if you can do one thing for me, that's at Virgin Active in the comments and follow me, so at least one of us might be able to pay our gym fees.
All right, so I suggest you do follow him, and we thought we'd bring him onto the show this morning. He's got to get to his lectures at past. But hey, Levi, nice to have you on.
Hello, can you hear me all right?
Perfectly. Listen, that video got a lot of people very, very excited, and not in a good way. I now know that you also had to have a conversation with Virgin Active's, I don't know, marketing or PR chick the other day, and you recorded the whole thing and put it on the internet, which is also great. I love what you're doing. It's terrific.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's been quite a crazy couple of weeks, and I didn't expect the attention nor a phone call from the head of PR. But yeah, I mean, it's yeah.
No, well done. So have you spoken to them since you posted that clip? Because she was like, you've done a lot of damage to our brand, as if putting up the fees by $300 isn't what's doing the damage. It's amazing how everyone else is to blame except them. Have you heard from them since then?
So I haven't heard anything. I posted that video, and I received a couple emails saying a lot of stuff, but I'm just letting all my supporters do the talking, because I don't feel anything's really been addressed. But yeah, so no further comms, which is a bit disappointing, but you know, I didn't expect this much. So
and what kind of reaction have you had from everybody else on the internet?
So it's been unreal, and when I was going ahead and making the video, I knew it was a common pain point just from people around me, and I knew it was going to do well. I didn't expect it to do this well, and the support has been unreal, and I seem to have opened a can of worms that I didn't actually know was so big, because I've got messages from not just members but people on both sides, you know, of the spectrum, all different kinds of experiences with Virgin Active. And yeah, it's almost become more informative when I was taking a break, because I like making videos, and I spend almost as much time in the gym as at home. So I was like, let me make this video, because you know, and it's blown up, and yeah, we are here now. This is amazing. So
Levi, have you considered making your next video in one of the shared co-working spaces?
yeah, so no. I mean, also right after I dropped the video, they removed their free smoothies. So now you get a 70 Rand off, not a free smoothie anymore.
Yeah, I've heard
I
that.
thought was pretty
Heard that
poor
one.
marketing, considering I just they dropped that the day after.
Yeah, they did too.
I think there's a massive gap in the market in South Africa for people who are just they want someone like you to go and honestly talk about how we're being ripped off left, right, and center.
Someone's got to fill the void that Isabel Jones made all those years ago, Gareth.
That's right. But Levi, you're it, man. I'm sure that there are plenty of people who've started following you in the last while and who are supporting you. What do your friends and family think of this, though?
Well, I've been making videos for 10 years, and it's always been like, oh, Levi's the guy that's trying to be an influencer.
Now you are.
And now when they check me that I'm actually doing decently, they're quite shocked. But the family is like, oh, so videos actually do have an impact, because I don't think people understand like media
Right.
to the full degree. And when you have a common pain point, how you can really bring attention to that one, you know.
So what? Explain for people who've never heard the word before. I think you might be the first to use it in South Africa, certainly. But tell us what a DeInfluencer actually is.
So I didn't actually know there was a proper definition. If you search it, it'll come up with its own thing. But after my gap year last year, as you said, I kind of tried to content and I absolutely burned out. Perfect, because when you go online,
sounds like the
this
next.
specifically-
Sorry, you're breaking up so badly. I think the next people to get a talking to from you should be the internet service providers.
There you go. There's the next topic.
What a shitty
I
connection.
apologize.
No, it's fine. All right, listen, we're gonna let you go because this connection isn't so great. But I do encourage people to follow you. You can find Levi Brown on Instagram, and I assume you're also on TikTok and all the other things. So go and look him up, and we'll put all the links in the description for the video. Thanks, Levi. Nice to meet you, dude. I'm sorry that the connection's not so great, or we could have had a longer conversation. But that's a cool thing he's doing.
Right.
No problem, dude. Ciao. Cool thing he's doing.
He's in Cape Town, right?
I think he's in Stellenbosch, yeah.
It's the mountains. The mountains. When we try to talk
oh my God.
from Joburg.
You know what? While we're complaining and Levi's complaining about, people being ripped off, I was on 3 or 4 phone calls yesterday with people in Cape Town. They all fucked out. I tried WhatsApp. I tried normal phone. What my friend calls poverty line, which is WhatsApp, I suppose. All of them, because of that goddamn mountain. They must just bulldoze it down. It is clearly a major problem. It is blocking all the signals. They put the things on top of these mountains. It doesn't seem to help. Stop it. Enough with you, Cape Town. Enough. It's time for you to become efficient.
So one of the networks is having an issue in the area where my office is.
Oh, yeah.
We've got 3 different modems. We're all on the same network on our phones as well. So hotspotting doesn't help either.
No.
Or WhatsApping. But it's amazing how when the internet's down, you physically cannot work. You have to stop, walk away from your computer and just start talking about shit.
Do they need to be connected all the time to do all the work? In other words, there's no such thing as work when you're not connected to the internet.
No. It's crazy. It's actually crazy.
Well, they're not carpenters, Gareth.
Yeah, but...
We are digital marketers.
But maybe... copywriting doesn't need to be done online live.
You need to do your research.
But you can't think. Come up with ideas, brainstorm, talk to each other.
There's certain things you can take offline, but you need information for that. And if you know that there's going to be no internet at a certain time, you can do those things at a time.
You can prepare for it, but when it just happens, it's like I was downloading a massive file.
Well, I had an incident this week which is comical. My laptop just didn't turn on. Mm-hmm. It just, I shut it down. Now, I had the same MacBook for, 5.5 years. So it was well out of warranty and everything, but 5.5 years and it was working great. Nothing wrong. But then, instead of just closing it, I decided to shut it down, which hadn't happened to it for a long time. So I think it was like, oh my God, this feels great.
Literally
I don't
like
have to
put
be
its feet
on.
up.
Yeah, right. And it just wouldn't switch back on. So I had to take it to them.
Oh no.
To have it fixed. I got to compliment the iStore. Again, they're not paying for this, but I think they deserve, just like people deserve criticism, when people do good work, they deserve some praise. There's a guy called Prince at the iStore who was just fantastic.
I actually dealt with him a couple weeks ago.
There we go. You see,
when I was buying a phone.
Right.
No,
So
I had the opposite experience.
Okay, Leanne, we'll doom and gloom it in a second.
yes,
Let Gareth finish.
You could take it down in a moment, but we're taking it up.
Okay, go. Carry on.
Library
Can you imagine
prefix.
being married to her? Fucking librarian. Anyway, so I took it to Prince. He looks at it. He's like, if we can't fix the software issue here, we're going to have to send it to the repair center, which sounds terrifying.
Expensive and long.
And probably on the East Rand, right? Anyway, it's gone to the repair center.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it's nothing. I've got all the stuff backed up, so it doesn't really matter. I'll have to probably buy a new device. And, I'm lucky enough to be able to do that if I have to. And this poor old computer is, I keep thinking, oh, shame. It's in some warehouse being looked at.
What do you got now? Like a loaner?
Yeah, I got this one. I bought this one already.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Black.
So, well, it's the same. It's just does the same things. But the point of the story was for, 2 days, a day and a half, I didn't have access to email and a laptop. And you know what? I survived.
Yeah, but for what you do, correct me if I'm wrong here, I don't know if you're a draftsman in your spare time, but you don't necessarily
Actually,
have
he
to.
does do that.
Like you can survive on your phone.
Yeah, I can.
I sure as
Yeah,
shit can't. I can't edit on my phone. I can't create things.
No.
Download files,
Download
design.
fucking loads of
I
design
mean,
things.
I saw
Yeah.
Tian and James. Flex is actually on leave this week. I saw Tian and James once when their computers wouldn't switch on or couldn't connect to the internet. They would.
It's like when it happens.
I waved my hand in front of them and nothing happened. It was like they'd switched off.
Yeah, that's
Speaking-
exactly what happens.
Speaking of leave, it was James's birthday this week.
James, happy birthday.
James.
How old today?
And-
29.
And what kind of cake we talking about, James?
Yeah, what kind of cake have we got?
Because I came here on Wednesday to say happy birthday to you.
There was
but then
no cake.
There was this birthday leave situation.
Yeah.
you guys
I don't
do?
know why you were off on your birthday.
I mean, your birthday's about celebrating with your friends, James. Are we not your friends?
Did we only
came
come for the cake?
For cake, and my payment for cake is always a hearty happy birthday.
I mean,
Ooh, baked cheesecake.
let's
Is that
be
what we're getting
fair.
today?
We're all trying to be healthy. So there are only how many people on the TRN staff?
Enough for like
Maybe.
one cake. So you
Yeah.
can buy one cake and it's going to be fine.
That's maybe 10 days in the year where you actually will have some cake. So we should take advantage of that.
We have Cake Friday every Friday.
Do you?
Every Friday.
Wow.
We've been a bit slack this year.
Guantanamo agencies really turned it around this year.
Well, yeah, usually agencies have Coke Friday, but ours is Cake Friday.
Gulag and Gulag are really.
I think that's very much Mad Men. Those days are over.
Those days were so
Yeah.
far over because I got into advertising in 2008. There wasn't cocaine.
No, it was already over. I don't. Certainly, it's not they're too cool to do that now. They're very professional.
Now
Everybody's
you get-
super professional.
Yeah, now you get like
that
wellness
Mad
days.
Men kind of thing. Anyway, I don't. What do I know? Because I'm only just starting to understand the world of advertising, and I don't know that I do. All right, I believe you've got a whole weekend of work ahead of you.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's the doom and gloom we
See,
were waiting
there
for.
we go.
A
There
bit of
Laid on thick.
anti-Valentine's.
Anti-Valentine's, right?
See, everything's got the word end in it. Girlfriend, boyfriend.
Oh.
So, yeah.
End.
Yeah.
We can always rely on you to bring it right down. So anybody who was going to have a exciting, romantic, loving, imagination-filled day with just great experiences with their favorite person, Leanne's just reminded you that it's all got end in it.
That's actually such a funny line. Going back to Dr. Kanan stuff, it's like you put the end in boyfriend.
Yes.
We're not together anymore.
That would be great. If people actually could come up with that kind of thing in their breakups, I think it would be so much
Breakups
better.
is always so terrible. You might as well have fun with them.
Well, I once there was a girl I was dating at varsity. I was on campus radio, and when I broke up with her, I played. I didn't break up with her in person. I broke up with her on the show because I thought it'd be more
pretty
entertaining.
efficient.
I mean, that's how meaningless our relationship had become, how shallow it was. And I said, well, here we go. Justine, this song's for you. And the song was Sheryl Crow's My Favorite Mistake.
Poetic, huh?
We don't talk anymore at all. She was very cross.
But out of all of her relationship endings, she remembers that one.
Oh, it stung. I'm pretty sure
It was one of the more creative ones.
It was one of the nastier ones, sure. I can't do this relationship anymore because you can't turn me on anymore, says Veronica. I don't know if she's saying that in response to what we were talking to Dr. Hanan about, or if she's
Breaking
announcing
up with
this
someone.
in the comment section
Or,
because she's just
she's talking about your laptop.
maybe. And then why do we never hear James? Does he just grunt? James, is your microphone not working? Well, then why is this person, Chris Smith, in the comments, who's been
See, now it's on.
liked 3 times
James
by the other
lies, Gareth.
commenters?
James lies.
You screwed up, James. You lied, right?
Because Chris Smith is a silly goose.
No,
Guys, I think we need to address the fact that James lies.
James, these lies must stop.
But my mic is literally live on the show right now. I don't know what. we're
Hey,
talking about.
you know what? It's our 1000th show. It's Valentine's Day tomorrow. It's also Friday the 13th.
And it's finally raining.
And it's raining. There's a lot of
It's
reason.
going to rain the whole
Joburg
weekend.
anyway.
Sorry for you
Is it
lovebirds
really?
who were going hot air ballooning.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you get a kick out of it, huh?
I did it on purpose.
Love birds going hot air ballooning.
Sorry for you.
Storm cloud Leanne rolls in over the
Sorry about your
Macaliesberg.
picnic.
You are such a buzzkill. Holy shit, you've perfected the art of buzzkill.
Are you still a librarian somewhere?
She is.
I would love that job. Shh.
People are having fun here. Shh.
There is no fun to be had. I did say yesterday in the office, all right, guys, you can play some music, but no singing. I will not have having fun in this office.
Good God, you're a tyrant.
Can I come to your office one day, please?
Yeah.
I just want to see what
I just
wanna walk
Guantanamo
around
Bay
and
looks like.
See the trauma in the faces.
All right. Go on, Ass.
Can I come on a Friday? Can I get cake?
Yes. You can have what we call our
Jeez,
coma,
Ben, you got a
coma
hankering
cake.
for this cake, hey?
Well, fuck,
Wow.
with lying James over there. I got a much faith, do I?
Lying James.
We have a coma cake once a week.
What's that?
It's a specific cake from a specific cafe. It's like triple chocolate or whatever, and it
Yeah, that
literally
just sounds like diabetes.
it gives you like stars in your eyes. It messes with your vision, and you feel like you're going into a
Oh,
coma.
that sounds like diabetes.
It's terrible.
Yeah, and do you have an office?
Yes, we're right. We're underneath Google, South Africa.
I think we should do this, Gareth. We should just pull in,
We should do the show from there one day.
just check in on
You're welcome
Leanne.
to.
She's got like anti-motivational posters on the wall.
Yeah, like, don't you
I don't
dare
allow
enjoy
for-
yourself. Don't you dare be happy. Don't you dare smile.
I
It's like,
don't allow for office decorations.
it's like she's got the burning Hindenburg saying, hot air balloons, overrated. That's her motivation poster. Hot air balloons, not romantic.
Pictures of the Great Depression. Pull over. Don't get ahead of yourselves. Tomorrow will be shit.
And I do that on Fridays. I say it's nearly Monday.
Oh, God. You know what? You're the worst. We were talking about Levi being a de-influencer. You're a demotivator.
No, I can be nice.
Sure you can.
Yeah.
And I can be dressing like a lesbian once a year, but it doesn't make me a lesbian.
Are we
Don't
dressing
forget.
like lesbians next
Well,
week?
is it next week? When is the end of the month show?
Guys,
Let's
I can't
take a
dress
look.
like a lesbian next week. I'm going away.
Oh.
I'm sorry about that,
Well,
Ben.
it'll have to fit
No,
in
it's
with
just that
Ben's travel
I'm not going to
schedule.
dress like a lesbian.
No,
and
but
then
we'll
get
wait
into
for
it.
you. We'll wait for you because we can do it on the 27th.
I'll dress like a lesbian with you on the 27th.
Okay. Leanne, lesbians on the 27th.
Final
Well,
Friday.
you tell whoever else the guests are, we all have to dress as lesbians on the
Well, should we actually
27th.
have a lesbian guest?
That would be good.
She can judge our outfits.
Who's a famous lesbian that we want to
Like
have
a real
on?
one, you know, not like I'm going
PJ
through a phase
Powers?
or.
PJ Powell? Is she?
I think.
I don't know. Maybe we need a, like, I wonder if you have suggestions. This is where the audience are
There's the
terrific.
gardener lady we spoke to.
I don't know if she wants to come on as a lesbian.
Okay, sorry, maybe I just outed her.
I don't know.
Whoops.
I mean, like, be careful, Leanne. Why don't you talk about the ones you actually know? All right. And then James always turns the mic on and says, it's literally on when we haven't heard from him at all previously.
Yeah.
See,
The lies,
lying.
guys. It's
the
the
lying.
lies.
Oh, now you can. Oh, now suddenly, when I've called you out for the 14th time. By the way, James woke up at 6:45 this morning, and then came in here breathless and just because
You
it was
did
your
get you at 5 to 6.
just because it was your birthday week. Don't think you can
Guys, you
slag
can't-
off.
You got to bring cake to validate your birthday week. Otherwise, it's not your birthday week.
Right. Good point, Ben. Good point. Well put. James is already dressed as a lesbian, says Bitcoin But. That's great. All right. Cafes should label their cakes stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. That's a good idea. Ben, we have so much to talk about with regard to the Winter Olympics. So much. I watched the men's and women's downhill skiing.
Oh, the Super G.
Oh, man.
Oh, it was wonderful.
They reached speeds, and I mean, I don't want to steal your sports report here, but I was so excited to watch these. Of course, you have to watch it on YouTube, which we'll talk about in a second. But speeds of 138, 39
Yeah,
kilometers
just
an hour.
cracking 130 plus, eh? But with all the precision to go through the gates at the right time, hitting the apexes of those turns.
Or they don't, like Lindsey Vonn.
A couple of them don't. Yeah, Lindsey Vonn, interesting story. I mean, obviously, she's quite long in the tooth, but
She's in her 40s, right?
Yeah, but like an absolute legend of her sport.
Sure.
And she had like a 5-year comeback trail because she's older. She just wants to
Right.
retire. She also dated Tiger Woods for a while, which will have his own wear and
That's
tear.
where I know the name from, though.
And then on her comeback trail, she literally blew her ACL out a week before the Winter Olympics, where most people would go, oh, right, not for me. She's like, fuck it, let's do it. She's like, I can do this without an ACL.
I admire that.
Hugely.
I mean,
And then
she really hurt herself there again.
Yeah, absolute losers were like, oh, you should have done this. And she's like, no, you get one chance in life to do stuff. I'm doing this.
No, good for her.
And again, that's just one of those reminders, like the Olympics is the greatest thing. And I completely now believe that the Winter Olympics is greater than the Summer Olympics.
Is that Lindsey Vonn?
That's Lindsey Vonn. Just, and it happened like 18 seconds into the race.
That picture actually comes from Jeffrey Epstein's file.
Yeah, that's his personal take on that.
It's a very flattering picture you found of her, James.
Yeah, James,
thanks very much.
Woman's a hero. And here you are just going for...
All right, so let's talk about... We'll start at the beginning, Ben, because there's a huge amount of controversy. Last week on the show, you were telling us about how great these events were going to be.
Just did a big podcast about it.
And we assumed that because we've got some of the best sports channels in South Africa, SuperSport really is... SuperSport is all that keeps multi-choice alive. SuperSport
keeps a lot of South Africans going.
And I'll tell you what, we have some of the best TV sports teams when it comes to covering sport, getting the best angles, the best cameramen, the best technical support. We've got amazing sports people in television sport in South Africa. All of them at SuperSport. It's just tremendous. But then many of us found out at the last minute that we would not be able to see any of the Winter Olympics spectacular.
Yeah, that was it.
On SuperSport, nothing.
Like I was giving previews around this, just assuming, like always, that SuperSport's going to have stuff.
Right.
And then last weekend, while I was on golf tour in Sun City, it was confirmed that there will be no Winter Olympics being shown, and SuperSport was kind of like, yeah, we're just not kind of going to do it. But it wasn't like 2 weeks time before the Olympics going, guys, we're not doing this. We're not screening this.
What's the story?
Well,
why would they cover a lot of bullshit things and not this?
This is a bit of a story, and I'll try and add value to the story, but a lot of this is still speculation. Mm-hmm. I have friends that work at SuperSport, and I purposely have not asked them about any of this because I think they're about to go through a bit of a tough time. So rather than asking them, I've just been doing a bit of digging and looking at a few things myself.
Okay.
Now, Canal Plus, obviously French, right?
Canal Plus, what?
Yes, Canal Plus.
Okay.
They have bought DSTV.
Right.
Okay, this we know. Last year this happened.
That's right.
And last year they came in with these sweeping, grandiose statements like, we're going to cut costs, we're going to become more efficient. But then they were also a bit dicky about it. They were like, to stop all payments to suppliers right now and demand discounts. So they were okay, we've come in here, we've bought this, you guys have done all this service, but actually screw you, and we want you to give us a discount.
Yeah.
So the writing was maybe on the wall there for a bit of fuckery afoot.
Right.
But we didn't think about it because, coverage carried on and everything was really great. And then you get more headlines around the fact that they are going to wipe off this and that, and they're going to be very, very efficient with how they go about it. Now, the thing about SuperSport is that, yes, they could be a lot smarter with how they run it economically. They could be more efficient, but it's the best in the world. What they offer is so great. Like, the things that we see and have access to are incredible. But if you take a non-South African, non-sports person, again, this is me speculating.
Some accountant from Paris.
Essentially an accountant that looks these kind of things, and they go, well, this, And
I mean, a French accountant, which is never a good thing.
You take away the heart and soul of what makes SuperSport and South Africans work. And that's kind of where I think we're sitting at. Again, this is me speculating. I will take full responsibility for everything I'm saying right now. This isn't me phoning up SuperSport and going, what's going on? Because I don't think a lot of these guys, I think they're in jobs and they're just waiting to see what's happening next. So the way I look at it, and again, looking at why does Canal Plus want to buy this huge thing in South Africa, right? It's because they want the African foothold.
Yes.
What's the biggest thing in Africa? Nigeria.
Right.
So the way, again, this is me looking at like how the dominoes may fall here, is that if we don't get the Winter Olympics, the 6th biggest event in all of sport,
right,
and people love the Winter Olympics, you can try and fudge it as you want and go, oh, well, South Africa doesn't have skiers. It's not about that. We want to watch the greatest things in sport with the greatest stories all the time.
Turns out we do have 5.
Well, we got 5.
Yeah.
So if you are to make that comment, which I don't think is at all like valid, This is our biggest Winter Olympics team. We've got 5 people
Right.
there. Today, Matt C. Smith is competing in the men's cross-country skiing. This oak took it up 3 years ago. He was a triathlete, but self-funded tech guy.
It's one of the hardest things to
But
do.
it's-
Jesus.
I mean-
If you've trudged through snow,
Gareth, this guy, he took it at the age of 32. He decided to take this up.
Phenomenal.
At the age of 35, he is our flag bearer at the Winter Olympics, and he's now competing today at 1 o'clock, and we cannot see him. We cannot see this dude. I don't care if he comes 73rd. It was an incredible story.
Yeah,
it's
that is
an
a great
amazing
story.
story. And this is what Canal Plus, these guys must realize, is that South Africans love stories. We love anything around sport. It's not just about, okay, well, we're in this tournament, we're going to win. Fuck that. We need stories. We love these kind of things. It's really, really important to us. So we're not going to see Matt C. Smith because YouTube streams a couple of things a day and there's no commentary most of the time. But
so we're really we're sucking the hind tit.
we're
so to
suddenly
speak.
sucking the hind tit. And I think this is going to get worse from here because, again, this is me with joining some dots here. The Nigerian market is huge, right? And they all support Premier League teams.
Right.
So maybe they're going to go, okay, right, we need to have Premier League. We can ditch Winter Olympics. Let's ditch cricket because who likes cricket? We're French. We don't like cricket.
The French don't even know which side of the cricket bat to hold.
French make such a mockery of
Yeah.
cricket. They've got French cricket. It's a different game. And
James, why do you put a picture of him up when we're talking about the cricket bat being held the wrong way around? Oh, okay. So is that Matt C. Smith?
that's him.
Okay, we must try and get him on the show. I mean,
Yeah, well, good luck to
if,
him
if
today.
no one in South Africa is able to watch this,
So he's actually he had a podcast called Road Cosina.
okay.
So he actually documents this whole
Okay.
thing. So again, I just want to try and put a line under this whole Canal Plus Supersport
Yes.
thing. When last year when we played against the French, there was this absolute abortion of a broadcast where there was the French guy, we had a Paris studio, then they were trying to talk to the studio in Randburg.
And
It
you're
was-
talking about rugby here.
Yeah, this was just during
when
rugby.
we played the French.
It was such a diabolical waste of time in broadcasting. But it was like, we're now Canal Plus and we're now Supersport. And it was this beautiful merger. The reason that these guys wanted this thing is because they want to do it their own way. That's why you buy something. You don't buy something to go, you know what, I want to buy that so I can keep it going for you people. They buy it because they want it for themselves. And I worry is that they're going to strip sport down to the bare like essentials, how much bang they can get for their buck. So it's Premier League, it's a lot of football stuff, and I mean,
They've probably got a whole lot of chartered accountants sitting in suits and ties in a glass and chrome building in a shitty business district in Paris who are now going to decide what we as South Africans get to watch and don't.
So I don't hate them because that's people's jobs, right? You
Sure.
get people who live and work in
I mean, they are
mergers and
cold,
acquisitions.
calculating
What makes
monsters, but we don't hate them.
it's not for us to hate them. It's for us to take note of what's about to happen. Is that we've had it so good with Supersport for so long, okay? And people moan about, DSTV Premium is $900, $1,000, whatever. Bullshit, it's cheap.
If you were a sports fan,
You're a sports
if you are a
fan.
sports fan, it's worth every cent, and you get some of the best coverage in the world.
Exactly. All
Up to now.
up to now. So now we're at the up to now stage. And this is where I'm starting to get a little bit nervous. And a lot of sports fans are now, and again, we're forced into this kind of thing, right? So I put a post out last Friday, and now in my DMs is try this stream, try this channel, get
Yeah.
a VPN, do this. So now
Right.
Canal Plus coming in here to cut cost, they're going to, like, people find ways, and South Africans find ways even more. So if you put a South African against the wall, they will find a way to do something else.
I mean,
So now-
solar, boreholes.
So all this cost cutting is great for a spreadsheet for a financial quarter, but you are about to lose people forever. You take away things like Winter Olympics, you take away all the other sort of events on the side, like suddenly UFC is just going to go because they'll be like, well, we don't really need that. I mean, it's on at like 5 a.m. Who's actually really watching it? You can justify all this kind of stuff if you really want to. But the thing about Supersport is that it's a comprehensive sporting offering. And now if you're going to become selective, you've just lost your entire brand. All that equity you built up for years, gone.
Wow.
And that's where I fear it's getting to.
Wow.
I would like to be wrong. A lot of the time in life, I like when I'm wrong because sometimes some things are actually not so bad. But I'm not so, like, if you just drop the Winter Olympics and there's nothing being said about it and you were casual about it and people have to ask you, like, what's happening rather than you coming out and saying, look, guys, we've just bought this company. This is our vision going forward. Winter Olympics doesn't align with us. You will not be shown this. That, like an adult would say that. A decent, caring business would say that. These oaks, I don't think give a fuck. That's why on Friday when you try to turn on to watch some curling, it was like, no, yeah, have watch Blitz instead. They're not even showing highlights. They haven't got like the decency to put a package together. So it's like, day one was this. There's bobsled happening today, Gareth, that I'm not going to be able to watch. And I'm not an illegal streamer. Okay, sure, I can get a VPN and maybe like, I think Peacock TV in America.
Right.
My mate Dirk, who lives there, said that's the best option.
Okay.
But I don't want to have to go and buy a VPN and do something else and then stream something else on my phone and hopefully get it onto my I want Supersport.
Well, a couple of people here. Kaloti says there are already adverts in live Six Nations games. The only reason DSTV is still alive is because of Supersport. This is fucked, says Carl. We'll start seeing adverts in live rugby games, says Mr. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah. I mean, these are things that they have to do to stay alive. TV's in big trouble.
But this is another thing, right? That's why I don't hate the Canal Plus guys, is that there's a reason why MultiChoice sold to these guys.
Yeah,
okay?
Well, they're also desperate for money.
Yeah, look, this is all like reality.
Sure.
I'm talking purely from a sports person that I fear that the things that we've enjoyed might not be there in future. Things change, things happen, things move. But I just think it's so cuck that Winter Olympics comes around and you don't even have the decency to say, look, guys, it's just not part of our vision right now. You're entitled to say it. It's your business.
Yeah.
But don't just leave people high and dry.
No, fair enough.
Fuckers.
So let's talk about the Winter Olympics.
Yeah.
You said there's bobsledding on today.
Well, there's
what
so
else?
much. I mean, there's no point me telling you because how are you going to watch it? I don't want to get your hopes up.
Get us excited. We might be able to watch highlights on YouTube.
No, but that's the thing. There's not even highlights. The YouTube streams are okay. This week, like I was literally moved to tears by the finals of the couples ice dancing. It really was just one of the most glorious things I've seen in all my life. So in figure skating, you get a variety of disciplines. Obviously, there's the singles, men and women, and ice dancing is like a more expressive kind of thing. Got down to the final three, and I put it on X yesterday. So if you follow me on @followthebounce, you'll see the stream there. Mm-hmm. Watch the last three. These Canadians come out with this routine, which is just incredible. These people have never medaled before, and they nailed it. They absolutely nailed it. They are quivering in each other's arms at the end. Just pure emotion and human dynamism like you've never seen before. Like they just became one in the symphony of movement and just grace.
How spectacular.
And then this American couple came out who were like world champs, and their theme was bullfighting. So the woman had like this flowy dress, like a matador, and the guy was the bull. And it was a bit more clinical, but it was absolutely perfect again. Again, the synergy of how these people move together. And then these Frenchies came out last. And the one guy fucked it up a little bit, but it was the pure like emotion that came out with every single movement. Like every single sinew of their body was just coordinated in such a way. And the music and everything's more dramatic on ice. It's more elegant. Like gymnastics is great, but there's something almost ploddy about the fact that you have to be on ground. Whereas with the ice, you can just round off movements and you glide and you basically fly. And I watched this and I was genuinely close to tears on all three of them because they all medaled. The Canadians finished third in the end. The Americans were upset only to finish second. And then the Frenchies, they won it.
Wow, good for them.
But, you know, there's just so much to watch for in the Winter Olympics, okay? So figure skating, what I just described now, it's just pure art. It's beautiful. But then you try to work out, like, how many of these duos are couples or how many of them have a gay guy? And I think, like, what's better? Because if you're in a couple and, like, the emotions of your relationship go onto the ice, or if you dance with a gay guy, you're probably going to be more stable, right? Because you're not in a physical relationship with this dude.
Well, who knows? I mean, figure skating, I just would have assumed they were all gay.
But this is just it, Gareth. There are so many dynamics of sports that we don't know about, so we can have so much fun looking into this.
If we were able to watch all of these things live, what would be the main events? You mentioned bobsledding. I actually had dinner with a friend of mine last week, and he was in San Moritz. And there's a guy now who's running the old Olympic track there and lets you do bobsledding.
Oh, I'd love to.
And he said one of the things you need to know about this is it takes you a good 10 to 15 minutes just to get in because it's so tight.
So narrow.
You have to move your leg a little bit this way, a little bit that way. The The pilot guy has to get in first. It's a major, complicated thing. It's not like you jump in and go.
We saw the Americans. The Americans fell.
Right,
out.
and he says you go around some of those corners, and it's 6 Gs of force. It is fast as hell, and it's scary as hell. And he said for the next day, your neck is absolutely stiff because you have to tense up for the entire duration.
Incredible. I mean, like so the Germans are the best bobsledders.
Yeah,
they're really good at getting into. I mean, from the days of tanks, I'm sure, but they're very good at getting into tight spots and going fucking fast.
right.
So we like anything on that sort of track. So skeleton, luge, double luge,
Yeah.
bobsled. Those streams aren't available on YouTube. Those are the ones I want to watch the most. Like there's the Winter Olympics app that does have like recaps here and there with small clips, but it's not really the same, man. So yeah, I'm like I'm happy.
So we got bobsledding. You mentioned skeleton, luge. You also mentioned how much the curling.
So
gets you excited.
next weekend's curling. Curling's
Right.
Curling takes a long time, right? These matches are like 3 hours or whatever. But the gold medal and bronze medal matches are next weekend. So we'll touch on that next Friday. But there's just so much to enjoy about that, and the scenery. Because, like the last one in Beijing, that was basically like Kempton Park with ice. All the ice was fake.
Not attractive.
Now you go back to like what the Winter Olympics is meant to be. I think every now and again, and I'm going on many tangents here because I feel strongly about this and I'm pissed off, but every now and again I get third world fatigue. Looking at people like downtroddenness,
Slime,
lack of beauty,
Yeah.
all kinds of other sort of shit. You watch the Winter Olympics, the pure white snow. Fuck, it's just
These beautiful old churches in a place like Cortina. Yeah.
And the movements of the human body are so dynamically special and unique. I mean, like, you watching people run in a marathon, great, amazing. I respect all of them. But you can watch someone run to catch a taxi outside.
Mm-hmm.
When often do you see a slalom super G guy going 130 kilometers? Death is on his doorstep the whole time. What you just described now at bobsled, the ice skating, these figure skaters, like there's danger, but there's beauty in the danger. Like my senses are so tingly when I think of the Winter Olympics. So it's going to be in the French Alps.
Keen.
We're not going to mess around.
No.
I think so 4 years time, I'm going to plan this perfectly for us. I'll just tell you where and how much.
Great.
But we're doing this. We're going to go watch figure skating. We're going to be on the bottom of that big slope to watch these guys come down.
Downhill skiing.
We're going to have drinks with Lindsey Vonn, who will still be there.
She'll
maybe on
be
crutches.
competing.
She'll still try.
Yeah.
And we're going to do this.
I think it would be a spectacular experience. All right,
Yeah,
count me in.
It's going to be sensational.
However, it's not just Winter Olympics. We also have some cricket and some rugby to talk about.
Yeah, so interesting week in the cricket. So the T20 World Cup.
Yes, absolutely.
So
God, there was excitement in the
brought
office.
the office to a standstill this week. Hey?
Everybody was huddled around one computer screen,
so
watching what was it almost felt like a scripted ending.
It was bizarre. So we were in the group of death essentially because we're New Zealand and Afghanistan. Now Afghanistan, especially in subcontinent pitches where it's slower and it spins more, it really plays into their sort of abilities. And we started off so well with the bats, Rickleton and de Kock. Mm-hmm. They did so well. We didn't quite post a big enough score. And then Afghanistan, they're very plucky, but a lot of their players, like they play in the SA20, they play in all kinds of other leagues around the world. Very capable guys who are getting better as a unit. Mm-hmm. And then they just didn't go away with the bat. And then somehow they actually butchered it at the end there. So went to a super over. And then they did bloody well. Tristan Stubbs thankfully hit a 6 for us on the last ball of the super over to go to another super over. This doesn't happen. Mm-hmm. This is like such a rarity.
I'd never heard of a super over before.
But to have two...
Yeah.
It was incredibly rare. So yeah, we hung on, and Keshav Maharaj got pelted in that last over, but he managed to hang on, so he got 2 wickets. So yeah, we basically go through now. We play New Zealand on Saturday. I think it's Saturday or Sunday. So basically, we had to beat Afghanistan or New Zealand or both to go through. Afghanistan have lost to both us and New Zealand, so they're out, unfortunately. They're a good team, but they're gone. So yeah, SA versus New Zealand is the really big one for this weekend. That'll be at 3:30. There's games. There's 3 games a day basically. The first game is always 7:30. So today is going to be Oz versus Zimbabwe right now. Then it's Canada, UAE, USA, Netherlands. Tomorrow, Ireland versus Oman, England versus Scotland, and then Sunday we got West Indies versus Nepal, USA versus Namibia, and then the big one as far as the story is concerned is India versus Pakistan, okay? 3:30 on Sunday. Now, as you know, India and Pakistan don't like each other.
No.
Pakistan in particular hate
Not at
India.
all.
And it's always tough. So when these guys play, there is a rule the ICC put down. I think we touched on this last week or the week before, that if they play each other in a World Cup, they've got to play on neutral territory. So India is hosting this tournament with Sri Lanka. So this game's going to be in Sri Lanka.
Okay.
Pakistan was like, screw you, Oaks, we're not playing you. We forfeit in this game because fuck you, we hate you. And then, I mean, I'm
sounds like
not a big fan of Pakistan.
That sounds almost like King David and Rodin in some way. You know what happened there?
I don't know.
Oh, there's this huge controversy going on in Joburg's
Sorry, I thought
girls' Anglican school.
Oh,
they
okay.
also said, no, we'd rather forfeit a game than play against Jews, effectively.
Right.
I mean, I'm paraphrasing. I can give you the
that's
full
kinda what
story
they wanna
just
do.
now. But effectively, they did a Pakistan.
So Pakistan, like, again, I'm trying to be nicer in life, but Pakistan don't offer the world a lot. They're not very good with a lot of
A bit of a shithole.
shithole.
Yeah. Sure.
Girls of 13 are like sold into marriages and slavery as a common thing.
Osama bin Laden hung out there.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shit place, to be honest with you. And Pakistan, come at me, but, I'm not the only one that thinks that.
Pakistan is greatest country. It's my favorite place, Pakistan.
Yeah. So Pakistan
Right.
think that they have leverage in cricket. They've got nothing. They've got less than nothing. India is cricket, okay?
Yes.
For better or for worse, they make stuff happen. So if
Know
they-
your place,
if
Pakistan.
they don't play this World Cup, they are forfeiting huge amounts of broadcast money that's already been paid, okay?
Right.
So that's how these things work, is that you play in a World Cup, you'll get a percentage because the thing's been sold.
Yeah.
So when a team suddenly goes, no, we're not going to play in that game, which is also the biggest game, which will have the biggest viewers, because the viewership, how it works is that India is the biggest. India versus Pakistan is like an atomic bomb of viewership. So Pakistan going to go, no, we're not going to play that game. They are pissing off millions and millions, and losing millions and millions. So there was a bit of a negotiation this week. Well, they say it's a negotiation. I think they got into a room, realized they've got nothing in this world, and like, okay, we're actually going to play. But this is the twist of the story here. Start of the tournament, Bangladesh were like, we're not going to India. And Pakistan were like, yeah, we support you, brothers, because we hate India. And Bangladesh were like, yeah, it's not safe there. Fuck India, whatever. So now Bangladesh aren't in the tournament. Again, no leverage, so they're getting no money. So then they're not in the tournament, and now Pakistan are like, yeah, we are actually going to play against India. So they're buddies. They just stabbed in the back now. So Bangladesh are literally twiddling their thumbs. They could have been staying in 5-star hotels, getting like all the security they need, having a good time. So they are left high and dry.
Bad things happen because you deserve them.
Guys, just be less dicky in life. It's not
Right.
hard. It really isn't. Look, Gareth, football's obviously a big thing right now. It's FA Cup weekend.
Yes.
So we're in the fourth round. There's going to be a couple of Premier League games like Aston Villa versus Newcastle will be the big draw card this Saturday in the FA Cup. Liverpool take on Brighton. James, you reckon you guys can still be in this trophy, huh? FA Cup. Premier League. Yeah. So there's a couple of
He
big
pays
games.
as much attention as Leanne does.
There's a couple of big games in the FA Cup this weekend. Accrington Stanley, of course, are not in the FA Cup. They got knocked out already. But we said it, that because they went so woke last year,
I'm afraid.
it was never going to work out. In the Premier League, it's actually, again, like there were so many games this week. Arsenal dropped points last night against Brentford. Ironically beaten with a long throw-in. That's what made the scoreline 1-1. So they're only 4 points ahead of Man City now. Yeah. And then rugby. So the Six Nations started, okay? So thankfully, that's still on SuperSport.
Okay.
That's still there. But last year, I think we broke Ireland in a couple of ways because we went there looking to swing some dick. We weren't there going to try get a bonus point, try whatever. We wanted to physically break them. And they were hammered against France in that opening game.
Yeah.
And I think it was just a massive hangover from the fact that Ireland are still quite scarred. So how the Six Nations works, as you know, there's the Six Nations. There's England, France, Ireland, Italy, Scotland, Wales, of only which France or England can win this thing. Ireland had their day, but they're kind of gone now. So we keep watching
Back to the bogs.
to see how these guys play. But basically, the decider for the Six Nations is on the 14th of March. The final game is France versus England. Those two teams will go unbeaten throughout the tournament, and the final match of the entire tournament is those two teams. So you can probably give the Six Nations a bit of a skip unless you gamble.
Yeah, just fast forward to the end.
Just fast forward 14th of March. But yeah, for this weekend, Ireland will be taking on Italy at 4:10, Scotland versus England at 7:20, and then Sunday, Wales versus France at 7:10. Wales used to be a proud rugby nation. They've got this beautiful 70,000 seater, which they can't fill now because they are dog shit. So they're trying to sell the tickets. Kind of like a Virgin Active group class that people are trying to force people into.
Yeah.
People are now trying to force people into the Principality Stadium to watch Wales take between 20 and 50 points every time. Yeah. That's pretty much it for the sports.
Well, no, because we didn't talk about this. It's not really a big thing in South Africa, but the Super Bowl also happened in America, right? And I think it's worth just talking about because it's a cultural event in America. It's got very little to do with the actual game of football. Certainly for the fans, it's about the football. But for most of America, it's got the biggest TV audiences in the world, has had for hundreds of years. I'm being sarcastic, but for a long time.
So 5 billion people watch the FIFA World Cup. 120 million people watch the Super Bowl.
Correct.
So
Sure, but in America, it's the biggest thing.
In America?
And it used to be that ads in the Super Bowl were the best ads because you had the biggest possible audience to reach with your ads. And companies would spend millions to try and get those. Remember Budweiser's WhatsApp thing? It was a huge thing. There were a couple of other ads that were much, much better than that used to debut during the Super Bowl. It's not really a thing anymore. It's not a thing. It's advertising has become in the Super Bowls very, very uninteresting, thoughtless, kind of watered down, milk soppy, just, not interesting stuff at all. So there was that. There was Bad Bunny, who I'd never heard of before the Super Bowl. And I wish I hadn't because it was just the little bits I saw, again, clips on the internet.
Sorry, I'm going to do that horrible trade of mine again. But we've seen all the artists we want to see. There's no great new artists that want to perform. So the halftime show is just now bullshit.
Yeah.
All the best ads are completely regulated, structured, and controlled. So we're not going to see those anymore. So what was the Super Bowl? It's exactly to your point.
It's done.
It's hit a ceiling.
Yeah, it's done.
It's hit a ceiling. And yes, the two best teams in American football come out and play. I always think it must be so cuck being a player because of how long the halftime show is.
Stoppages, yeah.
All the stoppages to get just...
It's ridiculous.
When you play rugby, you play the first half, coach tells you a couple of things, you go straight back out for the second half.
It would be like going to gym and then you take more rest than you do actually.
You somehow have a 3-hour break in the co-working spaces of Virgin Active. And then you come back and you try to get fired up again.
I just want to say, by the way, that I am a DSTV subscriber.
And a Virgin Active member.
And a Virgin Active member. I have no problem with either service, just so that people know we're not grinding axes that I have a personal problem with. These are two things that are worthy of thinking about, and we all pay money to these various service providers, not just those two, but many others.
I've always been the biggest cheerleader for Super Sport.
Yeah, of course you have. Yeah.
I've always said it's what we get is incredible. I fight people all the time on this kind of stuff.
By the way, Roxanne says, Gareth, your sudden enthusiasm for sport is refreshing. It's very hard not to get excited about sport the way Ben describes it, especially things like the Winter Olympics. So that's all genuine. It's not an effort from my side at all. And then,
guys, can I just,
what is it, James?
Very quick. We have compiled some images of some of the most iconic South African athletes. At the Olympics and across some of our sports.
Okay, have you not shown those already?
We're about to. So the first one, and this is
look,
one.
That's great. I didn't know he was at the Olympics. That was in 2022.
Ben was at the
chocolate.
I don't know. Ask Ben. He was there.
Chocolate medal.
Fuck, that's funny, James.
Okay, what else?
Then on the topic of the cricket, we also have Ben again. He's been present.
Wow.
Is what I'm saying.
Wow, look at this. What an all-rounder this guy is.
I know, he's great.
One of the most iconic rugby players in the country.
Oh, look at that. That's terrific.
It's Peter Steph the Cliff.
I don't think he's a forward, though. I'm thinking he's much too small to be a forward.
And then, very lastly,
yes,
one of the greatest images I've ever seen in my life is this one.
Of me playing soccer. Is that a Sundowns or?
No, it's for fun.
Okay. If it was Sundowns, it would be more apt. All right, very good. I'm delighted that we're doing so well on the sports front. That we're now able to recruit even low level athletes in inverted commas like that. So some corrections for you, Ben, on Pakistan from Carl. He says they did give us Kashmir. And Tracy says they also gave us Himalayan salt. Little known fact.
Fuck Himalayan salt. That's stuff made in Kempton Park has been put pink.
Himalayan salt does not come from the Himalayas. It sounds better than Pakistani salt, so marketers went with Himalayan salt.
Yeah, and you reckon that's coming from the Himalayas every time. Bullshit. It's like olive oil.
Yeah.
So little olive oil is coming out from beautifully pressed olives.
No, a lot of it is canola and all that kind of shit, right?
Kinds of bollocks from China.
Apparently the cowboy cat herding ad was probably the best Super Bowl ad ever. I remember that one vaguely.
Yeah, I actually watched that again this week.
Yeah. Listen, it certainly, it was an event. People would get excited about those ads because they were also very, very pinnacle of what advertising was.
So American. It's a sport with stoppages made for advertising to buy shit that you don't need to make yourself fat. It's just, you can't sum up a country enough than what the Super Bowl is.
I'm surprised in an unrelated story. I'm surprised at how much is actually coming out of these Epstein files. I really thought we'd seen it all. But I saw this week that a famous lefty and closet communist called Noam Chomsky was also big mates with Epstein.
Yeah.
Peter Mandelson, who we called Pedo Manhandelson last week, was giving government secret. Look, listen, all the creepy, weird sex shit aside, if you could put it aside, this Mandelson, Lord Mandelson, was giving government secrets to Epstein and his banker friends. You know, we talk about conspiracies all the time, and people have been in the habit of dismissing conspiracy theorists and conspiracy theories, including me, for a long time, where we've said, please, there's no evidence to substantiate this. There's no global conspiracy to ruin the world or to
Occam's razor, all that kind of stuff. You don't think too much.
And I try not to pay too much attention to overall conspiracy theories. But I got to say, like, when you find out that Peter Mandelson was sending Downing Street briefings, secret Downing Street communications, for example, when Gordon Brown was about to resign, to people like Epstein, and they were buying and selling stuff based on inside information, it does make me think that there are a group of people in the world, and this I might have said this was conspiracy theory a couple of years ago, a couple of people in the world who are at the levers of power or close to them and twist and turn and corrupt them for their own self-aggrandizement, enrichment, call it what you will. And that is almost a way bigger story to me than the girls on Epstein Island and Prince Andrew and Victoria Giuffre and all of that stuff. It's horrible, but I think that the manipulation of millions of us by these crooked sons of bitches is a way bigger story because that affects all of us directly. Unless you were one of the girls on Epstein's Island, and if you are, I'm sorry. It's not the kind of thing that, because a bunch of perverts are doing something, affects all of us directly. This, however, does, because these people are manipulating markets, they're manipulating politics. It just seems to me, and he was big with the World Economic Forum in Davos, like he was their marketing arm for a while.
Exactly.
You know, asking questions like, how do we make Davos more exciting this year? I mean, you've got to ask yourself, what precisely was this guy's end game? And if it hadn't been for the pedophile thing, we probably would never have found out about this.
So that's kind of, I've actually got into a bit of a rabbit hole of late around Epstein stuff. There's some really good things on YouTube. I mean, from like Stanley Kubrick dying after Eyes Wide Shut suddenly. And that movie was basically that one of the characters was Jeffrey Epstein.
Really?
Well, like the main dude in the
I remember it was the
mansion.
most boring movie I'd ever seen in my life.
So Stanley Kubrick, I mean,
That was the one with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman.
yes, and people say that the movie drove him to his death of a heart attack. Other people said that he basically revealed exactly what you're talking about in a movie. That's why it was so boring and laborious, because he wanted to actually make everything look what a cult it is. And the old guy who was always like telling Tom Cruise stuff, he was the Jeffrey Epstein character. He was the guy that had these little truths about things are what they're seeing. You do this is going to happen. And he was always pulling the strings, right? Of the secret society. Stanley Kubrick just exposed the whole thing in a movie. And then, before he died, he had major fights with the production houses around this, because obviously they're in bed with these people, right?
Yeah.
And he wanted a certain cut, and then they, as soon as he died, they basically changed a few things to really water down the ceremonies, the rituals.
Wow.
But Stanley Kubrick apparently had a whole iron towards this. But now on the Joe Rogan podcast this week, I haven't listened to the podcast yet, but there's a guy called Roger Avery.
Right.
Now, Roger Avery co-wrote Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
He's been very involved in Hollywood. And he comes out and says, look, I don't want to get sued or killed, basically, but there is a lot of like baby rituals happening in Hollywood. He goes deep into a whole bunch of stuff that some people are essentially harboring humans, harvesting them. And he said another thing that hasn't come out is that the moment Jeffrey Epstein was caught up in rape charges, he bought hundreds of liters of sulfuric acid.
What for?
Disposing of people. That's what this guy says. Now, again, this is all just a podcast. I
Yeah.
need to listen to it.
Sure.
But when you look at, you listen to these things in isolation, it's like, what the fuck's the guy doing with sulfuric acid? But it's like, oh, okay, he might have had a lot of dead bodies. All these like dispensable people that were their sex slaves. Cover your tracks.
It's
It's
it's very dark and disturbing. I want to resist the temptation to start believing all conspiracy theories just because some of them have come true,
I just think
right?
something we've
And
spoken
I
about
mean-
so many times, but this, where do they come from? Like, it comes from something. Conspiracy theorists, you do get absolute crackpots, right? You just
Yeah,
live in a
plenty.
alternative reality where they're looking for attention, or they're just in fucking, they're not mentally stable. But we've seen so many of these things uncovered in the last 10 years. You know, this guy talks about the fact that there's about 8,000 people in this world who have this, like, I don't know, satanic sort of elite that runs a lot of these things, like the pedos in Hollywood.
Well, do you know
We know
how
that's the real
Do you
thing.
know how the whole the original Epstein charges ended up being laid? Do you know where that happened? There were two schoolgirls at Palm Beach Royal High. Two teenage schoolgirls who had a full-on fight during break time or whatever. The one was calling the other one a whore. And the school got involved because they had to find out what had happened, and it was an incident. And turned out that the one girl had a couple of $100 in her purse that she couldn't explain. She said she'd got it from some nondescript thing. They went into it and found out that Palm Beach Royal High, hope I'm getting the name of it right, was one of the places that they were recruiting these girls from to take to his island. And it opened up the whole thing, because then suddenly the police were called in, the FBI, the investigation began. If that fight between those schoolgirls hadn't happened, we might never have known about Jeffrey Epstein.
Wow.
So it is phenomenal. If you want to get into the rabbit hole that you spoke of earlier, just how much is going on. There's this thing called Gmail, where you can go on and you can search any email. You can get into Jeffrey's email as him, and you can look up any of the correspondence, because there's millions of emails, right? And for some reason, this guy was big on email, and he always replied.
Yeah.
He was always available to reply to your email. And you can look up anyone in the world's name, and they'll come up with whatever, if
it's-
any, correspondence.
But as you say, like, there's more than everyone thinks. Like, the guy who's like in charge of the DP World Tour, some sheikh kind of guy.
Yeah.
he was buddies with Epstein. Epstein responded with an email saying, "I love the torture video you sent me."
Rough.
Like, but it was like the guy getting Khashoggi'd and he sent him a video.
Yeah.
All parts of society.
Sure. And you can look these things up. They're
Prominent
available.
people, and that's what they did.
Epstein and Macron and Charlie Kirk, says maniacally Monica. She says all connected. I don't know. I mean, again, who knows? Then Rebellious Ruth says, what about CERN in Switzerland? Many rabbit holes there. Big questions around that. What are they developing there? Epstein was apparently very into the scientists and the philosophers and the academics as well. Had liked to hobnob with really smart, really cool, really socially connected and interesting people. And of course, when you are in those circles, then other people start thinking you're important. So that's how he built up a reputation for being important.
Epstein apparently wants to do quite a lot with like sexual mutations and those kind of things. He was a bit of a Dr. Mephisto deep down. But the thing about those geeks who were doing that kind of stuff, and that's why the nerds loved him, is because they didn't have an outlet that involved hot chicks, parties.
Yeah, I mean, where was Bill Gates? Bill Gates had no chance with...
So now Epstein was like this really exciting guy.
Well, I got to say, Melinda Gates, you're the richest man at that point in the world. Go home to Melinda. I mean, for Bill Gates, he's like a turbo nerd, right? He's got zero social grace.
Essentially, human version of Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, and then you meet this guy who seems to have this amazing life. I mean, you could have all of that, but you don't know how because you're socially inept. And then you become mates with him, and he's like, I could get you Russian hookers. And Bill's like, well, I'd really like a Russian hooker. I could have a lot of fun with her.
In the secrecy
then he gets STDs,
islands.
and he takes it back to Melinda, and he tries to then get medication from Epstein to put in Melinda's coffee when she's not. I mean, what a creep. Really, what a creep. Every time you use Microsoft, I want you to think about that, right?
There's so many, like, this is the thing about life. There's always something so funny about it you can be a spectator to. Like, I listened to the 4-part series this week of Finn versus History, the OJ trial.
Oh, wow.
And
what did you learn?
I knew it was dodgy. I had no idea. It was absolute batshit crazy as it was.
Yeah.
I learned it was the biggest, like, mistrial ever. The biggest travesty of justice.
Fucking OJ. He's dead now, right?
Yeah, he died a while ago.
So that OJ had the temerity to write a book called If I Did It, where he said how he would have killed if he did it. I mean, he was an absolute piece of filth.
There was so much that was weird about OJ. Well, the most interesting thing was how much he hated black guys and didn't even identify as black. He's like, I'm not black, I'm OJ. And he lived in Brentwood.
Yeah,
and then
the whitest suburb.
We were talking about
LA.
the N-word earlier, and when OJ eventually did the whole white Bronco thing and he came home, and then
the high-speed chase on the freeway.
And because there was so much racial tension back there, and there's a lot of police brutality, a lot of guys from like the South, like proper redneck racist guys, okay,
Right.
and that we cannot deny. They got jobs at LAPD because they wanted to smash some black people up. The Rodney King thing, the height of the
Unbelievable.
riots, that was a reality, okay?
Yes.
OJ hated black people. He lives in Brentwood. He loved being the only black guy. When he came back, when the cops were around, and there were all these black people there to support him, his words were, "What are all these N-words doing here?"
Oh,
like he
wow.
was horrified that the fact that black people were in his neighborhood. Like he worked so hard to get away from them. And then Johnny Cochran and the team.
If the glove does not fit, you must acquit.
I mean, that was just stupid. Like leather shrinks, especially when it's full of blood. I mean, come on, it's just.
But it was a good line.
But
And
that was the whole thing.
dumb jury bought it hook, line,
But
and
that
sinker.
was the whole thing, and the jury were mostly black women.
Yeah.
I mean, when the verdict was delivered, one guy gave OJ the Black Panther salute because it was all about a black guy mustn't go to prison.
It was tribalism.
It was complete tribalism.
And there was a woman. I mean, I didn't know that OJ would come up on the show this morning because it's been how many years. But it was the biggest trial in history, and I don't think has ever been surpassed.
The economy took a dip because people were all watching the trial.
There was one of the jurors, one of these female jurors that you're talking about, who came out, I think, a couple of days ago. She's probably in her 80s or 90s now, and she said, "Yeah, we acquitted him because we didn't want to see a black guy go to jail, and we were going to get our own back, which was the whole motivation.
So it was Rodney King, and then this Korean woman shot a black girl in her shop.
Yeah.
And she got off with involuntary manslaughter, voluntary manslaughter or something.
So there was a lot of anger.
So there was huge amounts of anger. But the thing is that OJ was the recipient of, let's just call it black sympathy, but he didn't like black people.
Yeah, well.
And then everything about OJ didn't make sense. The guy basically was, as they put in the podcast, the Naked Gun movies was actually OJ's life. It was one big fucking slapstick catastrophe. And he was just an absolute disaster.
Yeah, he was.
And then,
do you remember when he was auctioning off all his stuff because he'd run out of money?
So because he lost the civil trial and basically had to pay the Goldmans all that money, and I still don't work out how you can be not guilty in a criminal trial, but that's not for now. But he needed to give them lots of money. So then he sold everything he could. When he was in prison, he made $5 million alone just by signing autographs, just during the trial. But then he came out and he started doing a prank show. I mean,
he was a huge embarrassment.
So look,
Huge embarrassment.
I'm a massive fan of the Finn versus History show, and like they made the comparison. Imagine Oscar Pistorius comes out of prison and starts doing a prank show in South Africa. Hey, it's Oscar. Are you knock knock? Are you in the toilet? Imagine that's what OJ basically did.
Yeah,
OJ went on the Ruby Wax show.
Yes.
Went into her studio and pretended to stab her multiple times with a banana. Zoe was so fucking unhinged and so guilty. Everything about it was just so guilty. This trial, if you really go down to it, watch it's a 4-part podcast series. Finn versus History. OJ, you got to listen to this whole thing.
That's amazing. All right,
it is
good.
So bad.
I'll put it on my list.
But also, just going back to the Epstein thing, it reminds you how so fucking horrible some Americans were at that sort of time. They were the biggest scumbags of note. Like his entire team, that Johnny Cochran guy, was such a piece of shit.
And the Kardashian, right?
Kardashians.
Yeah, Robert Kardashian. He was the father of all
even
those.
At the end, and then afterwards, because their entire defense was the race card. At no stage does someone ever say, "Okay, guys, if it wasn't OJ, who actually killed these people?"
This is always the point, right? Is that we talk about justice, and I don't want to get too philosophical on this front, but America has this jury system. We have judges. Judges are meant to apply the law. They're meant to look at the evidence. In a criminal trial, you've got to have beyond reasonable doubt. In a civil trial, you have to have a balance of probabilities. But in the end, it comes down to, and lawyers, I mean, especially in America, it's a lot of performance, a lot of theater, especially with a jury.
Especially there.
You're trying to win over, and these are ordinary members of the public. They are pulled out at random, and then there's jury selection, so the lawyers narrow down the kinds of jurors they want, demographically, psychographically. I mean, it's a huge process. But you could be walking down the street as a homeless drunk, and you could be called up for jury duty. And then you go and suddenly you're deciding you're one of, I think it's 12 people who have the power of life and death over somebody. It's a hell of a job. So a lot of it is just nonsense.
It was complete and utter nonsense, and he savagely murdered those people, and everything pointed towards that. Everything.
Well, the Mork Rock Show says the OJ trial proved how easily people can be manipulated. I still want to know the total details of the Oscar Pistorius trial, says Monica.
Okay, so that's the next episode of Finn versus History. They're actually going deep into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one of the Steinhoff's guys was involved in human trafficking and Oprah's school. Crazy stuff. Imagine they didn't send Oprah to prison because they didn't want to see a white guy going to prison.
Isn't it about time we do a proper analysis of Oprah? Oprah was in the middle of all of these things,
James,
right?
Interesting you bring that up, Ben, because, and this comes from Barely Vocal Radio's comment in the comments section, but look at these pictures. Oprah has the worst taste in friends. You got P. Diddy. Who we got there? We got P. Diddy, we got Harvey Weinstein.
Is that Russell Simmons?
Don't know who that is in bottom left.
It's Russell Simmons.
Is it Russell Simmons? And then Bill Cosby. I mean, what a rogues gallery.
And she set fire to Hawaii for real estate gains. I think Oprah.
Oprah may be the most connected evil person
Oprah's had
post
a free
Epstein.
ride, and that's just every day. Look how happy she is.
Yeah, with all those horrible men. Good Lord.
Guys, do we think so? Like, people think Beyonce and Jay-Z are like the leaders of the secret society or whatever. Do we think it's actually
it's
Oprah?
It is Oprah.
It has to be Oprah.
I mean, Jay-Z, amazingly, Jay-Z still is the guy who puts the halftime show together for the Super Bowl.
Child groomer as well. If you
Rihanna, and who was the other person who said that Jay-Z is not to be trusted?
I think Rihanna. So
yeah.
Here's something to explore. Why is Rihanna's fragrance line, or whatever that line is, why is it called Fenty?
Don't know, what is that?
Because I think they own Rihanna. They own her.
Oh.
And they basically said, like, we own you. Again, join the dots if you want in your own time. But that's what these guys did. And they write these impossible contracts. P. Diddy got a massive kick out of that kind of stuff. These people are horrible.
What an amazingly complex... there was a time where I really believed what I just heard in the news. You can't anymore.
But also,
the smart people are not just believing that stuff anymore, right? You have to be super naive to just buy what they put on CNN, SABC. You just have to be like totally naive.
I also think
head up your backside.
In the 70s, when the term was coined, conspiracy theorist, they put work into that because it's like, we need to debunk these people.
Like the words politically correct.
We need to disqualify them straight away, make them look like crackpots, because people who are asking questions are dangerous. So therefore, we must make them look like they're dangerous, and therefore we can balance it.
Apparently, according to Shan, Fenty is Rihanna's surname.
Is it?
So no conspiracy there, I'm afraid. We debunked that one in real time.
Very good.
It's 50 Cent, says Carl DeSantis. He's the one who's calling out all these scumbags. Yeah, he is relentless. He actually called Donald Trump. I saw this in the headline the other day. I don't know whether it's true or not. Who knows? He called Donald Trump to say, do not pardon P. Diddy. That motherfucker needs to go to jail. That's what he said. So we'll see
in jail,
what happens.
is he? He's still in...
Yeah, he's in jail. Apparently, he was in the same jail as Maduro.
So clear, nice ward.
Two guys who had massive amounts of oil once. Not anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, different kinds of oil, but there we go, What are you going to do? Creeps. Listen, put them all in orange overalls. Just put them away. Apparently, they saw an orange shape. They thought it might have been Donald Trump. An orange shape in the tapes that they've released about when Epstein offed himself as well. But it could have just been crooked Hillary in a prison uniform.
Oh, it's just some guy they gave $10 to.
Yeah.
We all know that it's so easy to kill someone.
Did you see, by the way, talking about this, a last bit of seriousness before we wrap this up, and I'm horrified. So they found the guy, they've arrested the guy who allegedly killed Warris. And he's a Mozambican. He's young. I think he's in his 20s. I don't know a huge amount about the detail of this, but according to what I've read, this guy was paid 7,000 Rand to do this. To assassinate someone in South Africa, you don't have to be rich. And there are people who are willing to do things like that for 7,000 Rand.
Yeah, it's horrible to read that and comprehend that. It's just it makes you even more angry.
Angry and at the same time so depressed. I mean, you would think that somebody's life would be worth more than 7,000 Rand. And that someone, even if they're desperate, would go, there are things I would do for 7,000 Rand, but that is not one of them.
Like the maths doesn't work on that. Okay, so
it really doesn't.
He's been caught because, let's be honest, it's quite easy to catch these people. They're not very good. But now you've got 7,000 Rand. Do you give it to your family? It's like a lasting legacy plan?
Mozambican, apparently, this guy. So there he is. I mean, really, just should have been aborted at birth. That's my opinion. There's obviously the head. Look, there's something was squashed. That's the guy who killed our friend. Yes. That is the filth that ought to be put under a wrecking ball. And now we're going to go through the motions of trying him and sentencing him, and then he's going to end up in a jail here in South Africa where we're going to feed and accommodate him, which will cost us more than 7,000 Rand a month, I'm sure, for being a slimy assassin sack of shit. And I don't care who hears it or who knows it, but I am not in favor of someone like that being alive at our expense.
I totally agree with you.
I do not, and I know there are one or two politicians who are starting to maybe change their mind now about the death penalty, but this story is very quickly edging me to a place where I think that is not only preferred, but essential.
It is essential. That person had no problem taking away a life.
You can't rehabilitate someone who'll do that for 7,000 Rand.
That's what makes it worse.
You can't. There's no way to fix somebody like that. There is no amount of education and psychotherapy and playing with squares and circles in the puzzle that's going to make that maniac into a person who can work with the rest of us in society. I needed to say that. I'm sorry. It wasn't going to come up, but there we go. If he takes his 7,000 Rand to Mozambique, he increases the GDP by 3 points. Yeah, what a terrible country. Anyone pretending to be sane in this insane world's a blatant liar, says Veronica. Rihanna decided to put an album out every year so that she could get out of that contract where she signed her life away. So that's where you were right, Ben.
Yeah.
This is why she actually released so much music, because Jay-Z owned her.
Yeah. Okay,
what about?
I was partially right then.
What about Chester Bennington, Chris Cornell, and Anthony Bourdain, who were apparently working on a global sex trafficking ring? Docky, strange circumstance that those are the three men who passed away. Again,
the Anthony Bourdain thing always confuses me. Like, the guy had a good life. Sure, everyone's got their demons, but jeepers, that guy was a late bloomer. You know, there was a lot going on in his life. It was good. He was such an authority. He was so respected, so loved. Yeah. Like Joe Rogan even said, that was the one that shook him the most. After the interview he did, like, what a great guy. This guy's just got so much figured out, and he's so fun to be with. And then he's now dead.
It is odd. And then I see the commies, because the communists are always trying to ruin everything nice. We can't have nice things because of communists. I see the commies in Graaff-Reinet are complaining because they want to rename the place to Robert Sobukwe Town. Now, I happen to have studied history, and I happen to have paid careful attention to Robert Mangaliso Sobukwe, who was an amazingly interesting guy, but had nothing whatsoever to do with Graaff-Reinet. I think he's buried near there. But other than that, this was not a place that he was particularly involved with. But of course, the real story is that we rename stuff because we're not building new stuff, and we're not doing things in this country that could make the country that much better. Instead, we'll just take old stuff and rename it so that we can pretend we're doing things. This is what communists do. And we should ignore them, and we should just call it, you know what? I still say Pretoria. I still say Durban. I don't know how to pronounce properly, so I say PE. Fuck you. I'm not going to stop saying those things. If you don't like it, you can't force me. Good luck.
Well, that's what the people of Graaff-Reinet are actually saying, is that this isn't lawful. So
no, the people of Graaff-Reinet are dead against it.
Yeah. The whole town does not want this. Like, make a statue of the guy in a prominent place people can see it. Don't ruin a town. Like, that's what it is. Like, there's a density towards this place.
I would suggest that anyone who cares about the story of Robert Sobukwe goes and sees the house that he stayed in on Robben Island.
So that.
And reads. We've done a blind history episode on Robert Sobukwe, which I think is really, really interesting. His story is fascinating. He played an incredibly important role in the struggle and in the formation of the PAC, and was a thinker. I might not have agreed with everything he had to say and write during his time, but man, what an interesting human being. That you just impose his name on a town like Graaff-Reinet does no service to him or to the town of Graaff-Reinet. It's just, these are politicians trying to look busy. And you don't have to fall for it. You really don't. One last thing, and then we do have to move on to something else. We covered Lewis Hamilton and Kim Kardashian.
But is he covering her? Yes, it's the term.
This is what I just wanted you to have your opportunity to say that.
I wasn't
You
even
can't better that, Ben.
Yeah, look, Ferrari always looking for things to do other than win races. So I guess as a preseason, that's maybe the next plan.
All right, I do know what will put everyone in a good mood for the last half hour of the show this morning, and this is the window seat, which we do every couple of weeks with travel.co.za. I've told you, if I've told you once, I've told you a million times, you have to go and see what's happening on travel.co.za. There are some incredible deals going on. There are some unbelievable opportunities for you to have. And this, today, gives you another opportunity to do this. We've got Matthew Fubbs in here, who's the sales director, part owner of the Holiday Factory. I love that name, by the way.
Thanks,
That's
Gareth.
so great. That really is. So you guys are going to talk to me about some visa-free travel deals, because for many South Africans, funny, I drove past the U.S. consulate
yeah.
just yesterday, and I saw people lined up there trying to get their visas. And I think there must be many other embassies and places that people are doing this every day. People are traveling, but it's so much easier if you don't have to worry about a visa,
yeah.
right? So what do you guys at the Holiday Factory advise us?
Yeah, thanks, Gareth.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you guys too. I've been listening to the show on the way here, and
hopefully you weren't offended and upset and laughing and crying at the same time.
I was sitting here thinking, how the hell am I going to make my section more interesting?
Oh, you joking? You're talking about holidays, dude.
Yeah.
Holidays are one of the things people get thrilled and excited about every single time.
So, I've done a lot of... It's kind of my first show I've been on for many, many years. So
Well,
I'm delighted.
nervous. I'm delighted you're here.
So I was thinking how, I gave the topics, and then I was like, okay, what the hell am I going to say? But the reason why I think visa travel is important in South Africa at the moment is we've noticed a trend. It doesn't mean people aren't traveling to the US and all of that, but we've noticed this trend that
hey, if people want to go, they're going to go
want
through
to travel,
the
correct. But I can't explain the reason why, but we've noticed that more and more people are waiting to the last minute to make the decision to travel. It could be because of the pressures of living in South Africa at the moment, or the cost of living or whatever. So it's almost like if you want to go to Europe, you've got to plan 6 months ahead.
Yes, you do.
You can't just walk into a travel agent or go online and just book unless you've got a British passport. But if you've got a South African passport, that's a long process. If you want to go to the Maldives, you can go into travel.co.za, pick up one of our packages, and we can get you there tomorrow.
Yeah,
and I think that's the catch to visa-free travel, because people just want to get away.
I was listening to a thing the other day where someone was asking some billionaire, like, what is the best thing about being a billionaire? And he said, and it was amazing because it's not something that you need to spend money on. He said the most valuable thing in his life, being a billionaire, is that he gets to have the freedom to decide to go anywhere he wants now. He can decide tonight, I want to be in, you said the Maldives. You can do that.
Yeah.
And it's partly the money, but it's also the freedom. That's the real privilege, is the freedom to be able to go to these places. What countries are on the top of the list for South Africans in terms of visa-free travel?
The ones we sell.
Yeah, well, go on. Tell me where.
It's not a secret. I mean,
Mauritius
is still the largest, in my opinion, and I'm not a very good statistical. I'm in sales, so I'm good at fudging the numbers. But if I recall, Mauritius is still the largest leisure destination outside of domestic travel for South Africans.
Right.
It's like between 100 to 120,000.
That's a tropical paradise.
And then people are like, oh, it's so boring. But,
got resorts. What are you
people
talking
just
about?
keep going there.
No.
I mean, it's always changing. There's new things from a golf perspective in general.
Oh, jeez.
It's only getting better and better all the time.
Absolutely.
You got Ben's attention when you said Mauritius,
Yeah.
because he was in here in December. We were talking about this. Could have been January.
Yeah,
But
because they have the Africa, that big tournament.
This resort, Latalfi.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah. So I think, like Mauritius, Zanzibar is, it is booming. The development in Zanzibar is off the charts at the moment. So it's quite interesting. People think...
So there are a lot of options.
Yeah,
there.
so people think Zanzibar is like Robinson Crusoe. You know, you go there and the resorts are... They're nice and they're not what you get in. Yeah, exactly. But I know our operations director went there about 3 or 4 months ago, and because we go and see the product and investigate it and that. And out of, I think, 10 resorts they inspected, 4 of them were construction sites of major resorts. So now we've now got another airline flying directly in Airlink. So we've got Airlink and Safair flying directly. That's a 3-hour flight.
And it's also the value for money there is very good,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah, so you get all inclusive. I mean, you go, you know, I was lying in bed this morning thinking, what's the thing about travel that's really exciting? Well, I think the 3 oldest professions, are
well, I think hookers are up there.
I was going to say it's prostitution.
So prostitutes are definitely. Lawyers.
Well, I was going to say making war.
Warrior,
and travel.
You're right.
People will always want to travel. The trick is, how do you, now in South Africa, how do you find a place that is affordable, easy to book, that gives you that time to actually recuperate? Because I think that's a big thing at the moment.
It's massive. I think what you said there, 3-hour flight, 4-hour flight, and how many hours it take to make a visa? I'm allergic to admin. Okay, maybe I'm just lazy. But if we go through the rigmarole of that, that's another 2-3 hours. You're online. You might have to go somewhere physically.
You have to line up and do a photo or whatever it
and
is.
Then you get asked questions that you're not sure of the answer. Like,
it's just amazing to me.
Have you had any involvement with a terrorist organization?
They're very personal kind of things, hey?
I don't
know. How much
know.
money do you physically have right now?
I wonder if there's ever been a terrorist who went,
yes.
You know, I think now's the time I'll open up about my involvement with Al Qaeda. You know, you go, who's going to answer? What is the point of that question?
When I went to America, there was a box you could tick saying, "Are you here to be involved in terrorist activities?"
Yeah.
Yes. No, exactly. But that process is.
Why would you ever answer? Why would
that.
anyone ever answer yes? And by the way, it does strike me as odd. We don't have to get political about this now because we're talking about holidays. But if you hop on a rubber dinghy and you go to the UK, Keir Starmer will put you up in a hotel.
Correct.
He'll feed you. He'll give your kids free education. And you will be able to live on welfare for probably as long as you want. But if you're a South African tourist, you have to pay 10,000 odd rand now to get your UK visa.
Only for the period
it'll last you a
that
short
you're traveling.
time. Yeah, correct. And you will be scrutinized as if you were the dodgiest oak in the world.
Julius had that problem.
He did. He was denied his visa. But the reality is, like, you'd rather go to a place that wants you.
Well, no, I think you have to. I mean, look, personally, last year I went, my wife and I, because I don't just travel to my destinations, because it's also a bit of work for me.
Sure, of course. So, when you're on holiday, you want to do different.
Yeah, and we went on a river cruise in Eastern Europe.
Wow.
That took me 4 months. I can pick up the phone and phone a colleague and say, hey.
Yeah, you're in the business.
Yeah, I mean, I know people. Knowing people,
but it must have been
3-month planning.
It must have been spectacular.
Yeah, it was spectacular. Don't get me wrong.
Would you do the Danube?
That's what you did. Yeah, yeah. No, it's incredible. I mean, I can talk about that another time. I mean, it's a fascinating.
No, I want to hear about this. We don't have to rush through other stuff.
But,
so where did you go? Hungary?
Yeah, we did
Austria,
Germany, Austria, Hungary, Slovakia. Was just.
What's your favorite part of that trip on the Danube? That sounds spectacular.
My wife's spending time with my wife on the boat.
No nonsense, man. What?
No, honestly,
you must have seen amazing.
I love history. I heard you mention
yes, of course.
That's what I read and that. And going to Eastern Europe, I found I'm so used to going to Western Europe.
Yeah,
it was a complete eye opener for me. It's completely different. The history, a small thing. Would you drink a German Riesling wine?
It's very sweet.
It's beautiful in Germany. It's dry.
Oh, really?
It's like, so I was drinking. I had.
What do they send us their shitty stuff?
I don't know how to answer that question.
Obviously,
but we went to a wine farm. I mean, one of the oldest wine farms in Europe,
Right.
in Germany. I mean,
Wow.
you wouldn't think that you would go
No.
to have any. So it was a really, really unique experience. And here's a really interesting catch. It's one of the most affordable trips I've had being there in terms of my spend in euros.
That's
Eastern
incredible.
Europe is extremely affordable.
And obviously the tourism is booming there now as well, because lots of other people like you have cottoned on that there's unexplored.
And affordable.
I still really want to go to Prague,
Yeah, Prague I went to.
to
Amazing.
Poland. I'd love to see Poland. Poland's booming at the moment. Wouldn't mind going to see places like Slovakia.
Yeah, and the unique thing is, it's so interesting. We live in a large country, and then you go somewhere else, and you cruise down this river, and you go from country to country quicker than it takes you to go from
Pretoria to Joburg.
Yeah, literally. It's like, and the people are different, and they are so nationalistic.
Yeah.
which was very interesting for me.
Well, they
to
had they were on
follow
the
the
other
Soviet
side of the
bloc,
Iron
yeah.
Curtain, so
Yeah.
they learned quickly how. I was just railing against communists a couple of minutes ago. You want to know how cuck communism is?
They're
Just
not
ask an
very-
Eastern European.
Yeah, go and ask a Slovakian. They're not very fond of
No.
the Soviets. They
Okay, so that
So-
took
yeah.
you 4 months to arrange,
so-
though, because of
so-
all the different visas.
So I think people. So there's a large contingent of South Africans who can afford it. There's not a lot of them. But I'm saying I think there's like 500,000 South Africans that can actually afford to travel overseas out of a population of 60 million.
So it's
If you think-
competitive.
It's competitive, yeah. And I think that most of those people have two trips. That's my opinion on average. The one trip's either a big one, the other one is either a local or what I term visa-free travel. So it would be Mauritius,
Maldives.
Zanzibar, Maldives, and the other Seychelles is amazing. It's a little bit expensive. It's
It's
at
a
high
top
end. And then Thailand and Bali are really popular. They weren't after COVID. They were it was very expensive because the airlines weren't flying as much. So of course, supply and demand, the prices went up. But I did a quick look just so, because people are always like, okay, he's talking to how much. So I looked at our advertising that we've been doing to the trade that you'll find with travel.co.za.
Sure.
You can go to a 4-star hotel, beautiful resort, in February for I think it was 6 nights, this one. Breakfast and dinner, flights, transfers, taxes, 15,500 Rand per
Wow.
person.
With the flights.
Yeah. That's
In
well, that
Bali,
deal's valid
Thailand.
for travel now until the end of Feb. I looked at Zanzibar was in 5-star, all inclusive, all in was sitting at about 20.
Okay.
Maldives is about 25 for a 4-star. Maldives, eh?
Right. Maldives, I mean,
And these are visa free.
That's paradise.
Now you go to Cape Town because in December on holiday. Just do your maths.
Oh, guaranteed people who went there for more than a week would have
Correct,
spent
yeah. And
close to
Thailand
that.
and Bali are in the region of 25, 30 at the moment. So, like, it's not, I think people might make the mistake of not checking if they can afford it.
Well,
you know
this
what I
is
mean.
this is why I've been just making all the noise I can about travel.co.za, and I know you guys also.
Oh, just we've worked with
You've been on
Monet
there
and his
for-
crew
Sure.
for
I mean,
years.
they are the best when
Absolutely.
it comes to making this stuff happen.
But also with that site and where it's going, because obviously there's been some upgrades. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so
phenomenal.
we've been working closely with them. So like we've got interlink, I mean, I don't want to get technical, but we've got like links into their system where whatever
This is
we put
travel
out,
IT.
well, on the travel.co.za, because
Right.
look, leisure, I'm so glad I'm not in corporate travel.
That's
I've been
a-
in leisure my whole life.
Yeah.
You know what the benefit of leisure is? It's non-political.
You're dealing with people,
You'd be surprised who's
not companies.
you would be surprised who's booked a holiday with Holiday Fair.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
like
Could you
important people,
you know, the red
celebrities.
Use your imagination.
Oh wow, okay,
Yeah.
maybe even
Now
presidents.
those
who
are people
knows?
saying BE and that, and they don't ask me for my BE certificate. They ask me for the best deal that's going to give them the
Gotta
best
take the
holiday
kids.
experience.
I got to take the kids on
for
holiday.
me.
Wow.
Holidays is, and I always say to people like, and travel.co.za, the people that work there, what I love about them, I call it old school, and they filter that through their staff. You've got the website and new book, but with travel, you're always going to end up talking to someone.
Sure.
I don't care. I just believe that's what happens.
Absolutely.
A guy can come in here and talk about a computer, like I heard your computer's broken, and you were so impressed with the service, but you still don't have a computer.
No, I got the new one.
You got the new one.
Which cost me as much as a trip to fucking Bali.
Yeah, but correct. But what is interesting in travel is, but you're happy. You've got your laptop.
Yeah, well, I've got to use it.
Yeah, you got to use it. Yeah. If someone books a holiday with us and it goes pear-shaped,
Yeah.
we ruin their lives.
There's
We
no
ruin the memory for the
forgiveness,
rest of their life. It doesn't matter what I do.
One holiday
Yeah,
a year.
this is-
I work hard for 11 months, and you
It's an emotion.
motherfuckers.
I can't give them another holiday. I can't give them another computer. It's done.
Yeah.
It's a lesson learned. So Travel.co are very good at making sure, when it's really a big problem, because problems happen, they're on the phone. You need to work with. That's why I think I said, I know people use technology. I use technology. I do my own bookings and that. But dealing with a travel professional when you're spending a lot of money, it's 100,000 rand. Even in February, it might be 15 grand. You take your whole family in December, you're spending a lot.
I see.
You need to make sure someone's looking after you.
I see Debbie and Monica in the comments saying Mauritius is awesome in June. Mauritius is the best.
Yeah. So when do you go? Depends on when you can.
And then
afford. There's never a bad time.
Sade thinks very, very funny here. Hoedspruit is also visa-free. Hoedspruit.
I've been to Hoedspruit. I love it. I've been there.
Local travel. There's nothing wrong with that.
Local
no,
travel.
sure. But let's talk about the excitement here because, we can all get in the car and go somewhere. This is much more exciting. I've never been to the Maldives, but my sister went last year and she came back with praise up the yin-yang. She said she's never, ever been to such a paradise. And it really is. You could probably say the same about the Seychelles and Mauritius. And, there are other places around the Indian Ocean too that are very, very nice. Thank you.
Yeah, look, this is such a difficult one because which one do I think?
Yeah, what's your favorite?
Yeah,
because you've probably been to all of them.
Yeah,
so
I've been
you
very
tell us,
privileged.
come on, level with us because you're going to say, well, this one's a better value for money, but what's your favorite place?
Look at it.
Nail
this
your
way.
colors to the mast.
If you've never been to an island holiday,
Yeah.
ever, you shouldn't start with the Maldives. You're going to have the best holiday whether you go to Zanzibar or Mauritius. It's going to wow you. It's got everything.
Fair point, yeah.
So it's about, for someone like yourself, I know you've traveled a lot and I've traveled a lot. It's the Maldives.
Really?
It's absolutely.
So what puts it in a different category for you?
So look, every resort is its own island. So there's nothing else there. So you fly in, you land, you go by seaplane or speedboat, and then you think it's a speedboat on the Vaal. It's not. It's like I don't know. It's a massive boat. It's very exciting.
All I think of, again, I haven't been there, but I'd love to go, is that blue of the sea.
So that's what I was going to tell you. So I've been to many of the resorts, and it is the Instagram picture post. People say, oh, what's the diving like? You don't need to dive. You just stick your head in the water and the fish are there. It's the most incredible. It is untouched from that perspective. And the resorts and the food is just next level. I don't know how they do it. Everything's flown in.
They have to fly. You have to import everything because they don't have
sushi,
arable land there.
the best sushi I've ever had in my life.
But
and I love sushi.
they could dig the fish out of the sea.
Dig the
I
fish
wonder
out.
when.
You don't just get a mackerel mackie.
No,
I'll tell you how much I love it. I've been there 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going back in June with my family. And this time I'm going via Singapore.
Nice.
I'm going to spend time in Singapore. And this time I'm splitting my Maldives time between 2 different resorts to have a different experience.
Oh man, and let me guess. There are resorts that will blow your mind. The ones with the little you've got the
water villas,
cabins on the stilts where you've got the fish swimming under you, and oh my god.
And look, and if you're looking for a place to go to, and there's lots to do. Hey, I mean, you don't just lie on the beach. There's just so much. They make sure there's a lot to do.
Right.
Like they do in Zanzibar, like they do in Mauritius. If you're into leisure golf, like you were saying, at the moment, go to Mauritius. It's off the charts. You know, so it's really, how do you get? You need to speak to someone who knows.
What does it cost to go off to Mauritius and do a little golfing?
So this resort,
Yeah.
which you can only buy through us.
Okay.
Through
No.
people that's, it's
Plug it in.
exclusive to us. Heritage Latalfi, they've been many times. The last now it was in November or December. They had
December.
at Le Reserve.
Le Reserve, Louis Oosthuizen design golf course, but some of the most impossibly perfect views and vistas. And
so let's say you want to go on holiday, but you want to play golf. It's not a golfing tour. You go to a resort like this where they've got Heritage Latalfi, it's a 5-star deluxe. I call it the Sun City of Mauritius. It's in a whole domain area. Next door to that is the 5-star all-inclusive Awali, which is a little bit down, but great, like different vibe. Then you've got self-catering behind you on.
All right, so it's almost like
on the golf
I see
course,
the Sun
on
City
the
comparison
club.
On the internationally recognized heritage golf course.
Right.
Where if you're staying at either of the resorts, you get free golf every day. You get free green fees. You don't pay. You might have to pay for your golf cart. So your golf is free.
That's quite rare as like an international travel thing.
I mean, imagine, you know how much it costs as green fees. I mean, that's big money.
You're in big. Yeah.
And then you have if you're staying at the 5-star resort, you get to play at Le Reserve. Now, I played at Le Reserve. In my opinion, it's most probably the best golf course in Mauritius at the moment.
Well, it's one of the greatest new golf courses in the last 10 years in the world.
Gareth, I was offered, so I'm a social golfer.
Okay, in other words, you're cuck. I know that.
I fill 4 balls. I'm last minute Mac, can you play? So I've got clubs. So I now go to Heritage because we're doing contracting, and the guys are like, you've got to go play. So and I'm like, look, thank you. No, 9 holes, just go. So I'm with my business partner, our financial director, and he's like me. So they take us to the golf course. We haven't got clubs. They give us everything. We go to the first hole. It's right at the top of the mountains. I haven't hit a golf ball in 6 months. The first thing I get given is a glass of Macallan's 35-year-old whiskey, which is apparently this tradition.
Yeah.
And the most incredible experience, but I have never lost so many golf. It's the tough. The guy that was coming, he had to go get more golf balls.
You ran out of golf balls.
Like after 6 holes, eh? It's a.
Was it the wind or just you playing very badly?
No, me and it's a proper links international golf course, and it makes you feel like you're an island. You're in Mauritius. It's incredible. So golfing, you can go on holiday to Mauritius with your family. Maybe you and your wife play golf. You don't have to play every day. You don't have to book the golf. You can stay in a product where it's there. You don't have to go somewhere else to go play. Now that's, I think I looked at the Latalfi special for March is 25 grand for breakfast and dinner. It's an incredible.
Yeah, when you include the dinner and breakfast thing as well, like that, you add it up. That's really reasonable.
It's very reasonable,
It's still a premium holiday, but I mean that's doable.
You get butler, I'm not great at. They're like, can I unpack your suitcase? No, hell no. I know people who do, but they're like, you know what I mean? Or can I pack your suitcase when you're leaving? No.
I know, I don't mind that.
No,
I was like, yes, go for it.
But you in these, and at home in South Africa, you can't get service that, I don't know, you go to a government in Home Affairs, treat you like shit, and then you go to.
Oh please! I was at the supermarket yesterday, or the grocery store. The two cashiers are talking to each other so much they couldn't have given a shit if I'd lived or died. Exactly. And the queue was building up behind me, and after they'd finished their 2.5 minute conversation, one of them kind of looked up and went,
And then you go to a resort like, there's an example that's healthy, or Western, any 5-star resort that offers that butler types. They call it butler service, a concierge service, and then they find you every morning. Hello, Mr. Fubbs.
Oh, they can't do enough for you, right?
And
Eventually, you have to say,
"What do you want to do today?" And then you like, the first day I'm like, nothing. Don't worry. By the second day I'm like, sorry,
what
actually,
you got? What's on the menu?
Yeah, that you, it's an incredible experience,
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can go and stay in a 3-star resort in Mauritius, where there's got one restaurant, like you go to the Berg, with a beautiful beach.
Listen,
all inclusive, basic all inclusive.
I know you guys are in the business of selling amazing holidays and life experiences, because that's what they are, right? From presidents to ordinary old us. But the reality is, if you are with cool people, family, friends, those kinds of things, you will have a good time anyway. You don't need 10 restaurants and 15 different opportunities to do jet skiing and paragliding and God knows what else. If you're with cool people, you'll find plenty to do and you'll have an awesome time. But it helps if you're in a beautiful place.
Absolutely.
Right? You don't want to do this in Germiston.
So I just say to people, like, if you have
a house party in Germiston might be great. I don't want to upset all the Germiston people. I know we got lots of them in the comment section, but it would be better in Mauritius.
My advice to people would be, if you're saving for a bigger TV and you've never traveled before, travel changes your life.
Yeah, fuck the TV.
It changes your view on your life, things, everything. Whether you're on holiday,
it makes you more of a person. I know,
really
all these
that.
cliches come out, but it's true.
Every time I travel, I learn. And I tell you what, I will tell people, I've never arrived home, back from traveling, and not being so happy to be home in South Africa.
Yeah.
No matter what.
It makes you appreciate home weirdly by going away. But
with
also,
all the shit.
But you also understand what fun really is. Like 6 beers with your mates in a familiar place like Germiston, whatever, it's fun. When you go like these places you swap, it's like it's all your senses are just now engaged. It's so much fun.
Well, I mean, you got me excited about a trip because I haven't planned anything for this year yet.
The place you've been talking about for the last 10 minutes, I have to go there this year.
I know. I could see how you were. Ben has been here since 6 a.m. and he woke up as soon as you sat down and started talking about golf travel.
Yeah, those are my clubs.
You just travel everywhere with your
I just don't leave things in my car. I'm quite paranoid about it. My golf clubs cost a lot of money.
More than your car?
Almost the same price. It's like I'm very particular about my golf clubs, and my bag right now is very. Look at that, how beautiful it is.
I did have a chuckle because I was like, "Wow,
what is this gay shit?"
That's a putter, Gareth.
Look at zoom in on that.
Yeah, that's a special Masters Edition head cover with azaleas on it.
Wrong camera, you idiots.
It's the one looking at me."
Go back to the other wide one that you had. That one.
God's sake, make up your mind.
So Gareth, that's a special Masters. It's an azalea from the Masters.
Okay, sorry, I don't mean to disrespect your putter.
No, you can do whatever you want. But if you look at that bag, it's everything I need. It's all for me. It's the new Cobra Optim driver, which is.
You brought a very fancy golf club in here on Wednesday. You're giving away?
Yeah, we did a competition this week, so we have given that away already.
Got people in the office very excited.
A woman entered on behalf of her husband, and she won him the driver on Valentine's Day weekend.
What a spectacular woman that is. What is her name?
Her name is Monique van Jaarsveld. Yeah. No, I do.
I
like to share all the joy in my life. So, like golf, I do lots of things with golf.
Yeah, well, what you got to do is you got to speak to old Maria, travel, etc., we'll get you there, because you got to go and experience this experience of golf in Mauritius.
Matt, I'll tell you what, I've got many plans with where we're going in the next few years.
Well, Matthew, what a pleasure to have you here, dude, and thank you for sharing all of your stories and your tips and tricks for this, because the whole point of this is to try and help people understand the options. You said it just now. People don't even look at the price.
Yeah.
If you don't even look at what's available and you don't check out the prices, you're just going to have another boring year and go to your house party in Germiston.
This is what
I feel sorry for the people in Germiston.
They're having a hard time this morning. I mean, it would be worse if it was PE or East London.
Yeah, but that's another thing that people forget is that. So, Matt, I mean, you got a major focus in Mauritius. You go way back with that place.
Yeah,
you know it back to front.
Yeah,
Factory, that's what it is. Travel to see the same thing. Sorry, my words are escaping me. by sheer scale and expertise, they have the best deal for these places because they've been in
Absolutely.
the industry forever.
All right.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you so much.
Thanks, Gareth.
Thank you, most importantly,
Ben.
to you for joining us this morning. And we will be back on Friday next week with more. Ben will not be here because he's... Where are you?
No, I am here next week. I'm leaving straight away to go to the Kruger.
okay.
And I will try to get some more sleep so I won't look so
Gets
disheveled.
a lot of travel in.
I travel a lot, guys.
Karpinski.
All I really care about the most in life.
All right.
I do. It
Thank
does
you very
wonders for
much
me.
to Matthew Fubbs. Thank you very much to the Holiday Factory, travel.co.za, and to everybody who got in here this morning. Leanne,
And shout out
Ben,
to Tion. Tion's in the
Tian,
mix.
yeah, Tian, who's been standing in for Flex this morning, did an excellent job.
Yeah.
Oh, James, yeah.
James, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, James.
Yeah,
Is
happy
the
birthday,
cake here or are
James.
you still ordering it? Nice. Here we go.
All right, everybody.
Thanks. Team spirit.
See you
there.
next Friday.